Yeah, the screen tells me I'm live and I'm going to believe it. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. This is Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. Hope you guys are having a great day out there. As you can tell, I am still sick. And, I'm so tired of being sick. I really am. And I'd love to be able to hear normal out of my ears. And I'd like to stop producing snot at a unreal level. But I'm still happy, and that's what's important. And I hope you guys are too. We're here tonight to, shoot the shit and have a little bit of fun. And yeah, mostly laugh at people, if I'm being honest. The thumbnail, I'm just going to admit up front, it's another one of those times where I'm being a little bit of a dick. I think Shoe on Head is anti-Jew. If for those of you who are like, oh, I need to come see this, there's going to be drama. I don't actually think she is. But somebody asked me on the last stream if I'd seen her latest video, and I just watched it tonight, and I did want to talk about it a little bit, just a little bit. How do I want to put this? Most of her criticism, it wasn't even pointed at Israel. It was mostly pointed at U.S. politicians who are, in some people's minds, bought and paid for by AIPAC or Jews or Israel or whatever you want to say. But I'm going to point back to the thing I always go to. Like, one of them that she points to is Lindsey Graham. Another one is Ted Cruz. And I'm not saying that those guys aren't in the pocket of Israel. I'm saying that they would still be saying the same stupid shit even if they weren't being paid. Hey, Jack, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Not real good, but we're going to move past that.
Oh, fair enough.
I got to turn my volume down because I had it way up, and I can. If I ask you to repeat yourself, please understand I can barely hear out of my right eye. My can't hear out of my right eye, guys.
I don't hear out of either of my eyes, so I understand.
My right ear is I'm mostly deafened right now. My left ear sounds like everything is underwater. It's been a fun week. It's been a fun week.
Have you considered a doctor yet?
No. I'm not going to a doctor for fucking sinus infection.
Not with that attitude.
Not with that attitude. Not unless they take me by ambulance.
Well, I mean, at your age.
Yeah, just get the hearse ready. Okay, so I was talking about Shoe on Head's video. Did you watch it?
Nope. Just learned about it when I saw your thumbnail.
Okay. It's from like earlier in the week, and I didn't really have a big problem with it. She makes some good points about several U.S. politicians putting other countries ahead of our own. I don't think that's true in every instance that, there's some kind of vote on Israel. But like this one guy, he put up a tweet that says one of these countries has to go, Israel or the United States. And then it said, choose one. And there was a guy, one of our congressmen, who said, read Revelations and get back to me. Now, I'm not religious, Jack, but I do know what he's getting at there. And that is a sitting saying choose Israel over the United States.
Yeah, I have to be pedantic about this one because it's the book of Revelation, not Revelations.
That's fair. But I hear you. It is the book of Revelation, but they are revelations because there's several in there.
I mean, yes and no, but to get the title of the book wrong really hurts your credibility a little bit, Also, Harmageddo, which is what Armageddon means, is a place in northern Israel, and it's where a major trade route used to go during ancient times. But it's not where Armageddon is, or where the end of the world is going to happen, or even the final battle. That's the staging ground for the armies of evil.
Let me get these real quick. Thank you, Darth Mondo, for becoming a member for month number 28. So you can barely see and now barely hear. Have you considered MAID? This message brought to you by Healthcare Canada. Thank you so much. And good little commie, thank you. Why does Shu hate the Jews so much? Some of the most ardent supporters of socialism wear funny little hats. She doesn't actually hate the Jews. I was being a jackass in the title, to get people to watch.
Of course.
Yeah, it's my thing. She does take a couple of little shots at Netanyahu and Israel, but
she
does something that so many claim to do, where she criticizes Israel and leaves it at that, where, other people take it further. I'm just going to leave it at, I don't want to accuse anybody of hating all Jews, Hassan.
Hassan Chop.
But, I had to put something on there to get people's attention. That's all. What was I talking about?
How awesome I am.
Yeah.
You were talking about we were talking about the Book of Revelation, and then we were talking about some other shit.
So many things that Shu points out is how militaristic some of our leaders are. Like, she really goes in on Graham. Not enough for my liking there, Shu. I could have watched you rip on that piece of shit for a long time.
Yeah, because
Lindsey Graham. I don't think Lindsey Graham supports this war because it's Israel related. I think that fucker just likes war.
Oh, I agree. John McCain was the same way. They love a good war.
Now, when it comes to somebody like Ted Cruz, I think his has more to do with believing that we have to defend Israel at all costs because his book told him to.
Yeah.
I do think she spent way too. I mean, the whole video is talking about the war, but it's all from the perspective of American politicians being paid by AIPAC to push the war. And there are other legitimate reasons for going to war with Iran. You don't have to consider them reasons, but there's cases people can make. And whether that's what the administration has said or it's just a personal thing of why you support it, there's a lot of shit in Iran that, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too upset with us bombing the shit out of them.
Yeah, they were developing intercontinental ballistic missiles, and they're the main funder of terrorism around the world. I don't really have a problem with blowing them up. The bad people are still dead,
She makes the same assumption Cenk makes. What assumption is that? I have anti-Zionist fatigue. Me too.
Yeah, I'm just tired of the constant, it was the Jews, they're behind everything. I'm so tired of that. It is so lazy.
That's one of the places I did have a problem with her video, is when she tells us what Zionism is. She tells us it's not what you're told. There's a lot more to it, and that's it. That's all. Zionism is literally just believing that the Jews deserve a homeland in what is traditionally Israel.
Yeah,
that's it.
Have their traditional
that other people have perverted it, or that Nick Fuentes tells you it's something different. That's the simple meaning. So literally everybody who believes in a two-state solution is a Zionist by default. You can't believe in a two-state solution without believing Israel should be a state.
Yeah, because that's how you have two states.
Yeah. Osby, thank you. Can I please get a birthday song for my grandpa or for my grandma? She's 90 today. Yeah, absolutely. What's her name?
Of course.
Or should I call her Osby's grandma?
Yeah, do we call her grandmama?
Grandmama. Abuela.
Or grand?
Feliz cumpleaños, his abuela. I forget how to say
I don't even know what that means.
That means happy birthday. Did you take no Spanish in high school?
Nope.
Are you one of those
I've
weirdos
lived around Spanish speakers for years too, so I know like 5 words of Spanish. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck. I don't speak the language of the servants.
Her name is Joyce. Okay, this is for Joyce. And a 1 And a 2. Happy birthday,
Happy birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday
you.
to you.
Happy birthday,
Happy
dear
birthday,
Joyce.
dear Joyce.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday
you.
to you.
Happy birthday, Joyce. I hope you have a good one, sweetie. Man, 90 years. You know how much she's seen come and go?
Oh my gosh, it's got to be frustrating. Like everything got dumber.
Yeah.
You know, Joyce is not a name you'd hear very often anymore, and that's one that's like it's not like Mildred or anything like that where it's like kind of sounds like an old person name. Joyce is just like a regular name that you just don't hear anymore. They got to bring that one back.
I just want to engage in these situations properly instead of spending money/men and then leaving it to go back to default or worse. That's a fair statement. Look, I do not have a problem with people who have a problem with this war. My problem is with their rationale for having a problem with this war. When if your only complaint with this war is the damn Jews, or sorry, Israel, then you probably aren't paying enough attention to be talking about the topic in general.
Yeah,
Just saying.
that's fair.
Oh yeah, we have to yell at you, Monk. Yeah, it does help. It does help. But yeah,
Especially when he can't hear out of his eye.
I can't hear out of either eye, man. It sucks. It sucks so bad. In general, I liked Shu's video. It's not one that we're gonna watch because I don't have a lot to add or to contradict about it. So watch it on your own time, guys. Tell her I said hi, and then we can move on to my favorite little LARPer, Jack.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Or maybe we can. Why is this screen frozen? Uh-oh.
I don't know. I was having computer problems all day today. I think Microsoft's doing some nonsense.
There we go. I don't know what's going on with this tab. All right, can I close this? Fuck.
Tab. I was always more of a Fresca guy.
Okay.
Can't have a tab unless you order a drink, son.
Even YouTube hates Hassan. Fuck. Where's our dirty little commie? There he is. My favorite little fat LARPer, Hassan Piker. He got to go give a speech at Stanford University.
Can we call him Mao Zedong Chubbs?
We should. I was actually thinking that somebody needs to tell him if he really wants to look like Mao, he's got to put all the weight back on.
Yeah, well, he's already kind of puffy. Like he has that that look that a lot of guys at the gym get when they don't work out properly, where it's like a layer of fat on top of the muscle, so it's not defined, because he's probably not doing real workouts.
I hate Hassan Piker so fucking much, you have no idea. Tell me about it.
Oh, believe me, you're not alone here, buddy.
How you doing, Cannibalistic? Hope you're well, bud.
Hey, Wizard.
No, I was wondering if maybe Hassan became a fan of Chairman Mao because when he was a fat little kid, he identified with him. You know how they tell us representation is important?
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe he was over there in Turkey and there weren't fat little people around him. So he looked to the world stage and saw this fat little guy and he was like, that's my new hero.
Yeah. Oh, he must love Kim Jong-un then.
He must. I mean, he glazes him all the time.
Oh, I bet he does.
He's like, he calls him a good guy, and that's how we really should be taking our cues from him so that we're not authoritarian.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
so we're not fascist.
They're so free over there.
I love that communists think that being fascist, you can't be communist.
Yeah, even though it's a branch of socialism, just like communism, they are so closely linked. If you actually look at the doctrines of both of them, it's disgusting how much the commies have perverted that. Also, I wonder how much money Hassan spends on hair products to keep from going bald.
Probably a lot. And you notice you will never see the back of his head.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly got the male pattern baldness starting.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's probably been fighting with that for a few years now. I heard he had some hair transplants, but I don't believe that just yet. I think he's just got a lot of product in there.
Two different brands of collectivism. I mean, I would argue they're mostly the same. The difference between fascism and communism is that communism does have the economic aspect to it, where fascism doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, fascism has the facade of private ownership, whereas communism doesn't.
They both require absolute authoritarian rule.
Yeah. They're both born out of the same shitty ideas.
I need somebody to explain to me how this millionaire Nepo baby is allowed to dress up like Chairman Mao, somebody who murdered millions, and nobody says shit. If this had been, let's say, Charlie Kirk, because he desperately wants to be the left-wing Charlie Kirk,
Mm-hmm.
and Charlie Kirk came out in anything vaguely looking, let's say, 1930s Germanish, every news outlet in the country be like, did you see what this right-winger wore?
Oh, yeah, it'd be all over the news.
Thank you, Connect. The real word is collectivism. Yeah.
I don't think collectivism has enough of a punch, because collectivism, they could dress that up. Communism, there's plenty of documentation on what that exactly is.
Ayn was right. Fascism and communism are rival gangs at war over territory. Yeah, they are, and they're cut from the same cloth. Remember, the anti-fascists actually helped get Hitler elected. That's 100% true.
Yep.
Speaking of Charlie, you hear about the Daily Mail article that says the bullet could not be matched to the gun. No.
Yeah, it was not a 100% match to the rifle, because it was a shredded bullet. It had damage to it, so they couldn't perfectly identify it and say this absolutely came from this gun. And people have been running with that, especially Candace Owens. It's not enough to clear the guy. I'm sorry. The rifle is linked to him. There's his DNA on the roof. He was spotted in the area, and he confessed to like 5 people.
Yeah, the fact that this is what keeps getting me about that whole thing is, I mean, he's the one that said he did it.
Yeah.
He's the one that said he did it. There's video of him on the roof, or pictures of him on the roof. There's pictures of him going up to the roof. The gun he went back to get, it was found in the place that he said he left it. His DNA, his fingerprints. What more do you guys need? Do you need the actual footage of him pulling the trigger?
Well, and the rifle is linked to his grandfather. And the kid doesn't live in the area. He's from 300 miles away. So it's a very big coincidence that he's at the same place that his grandfather's rifle is. His DNA is on the same area where the shooter was. He's seen in the stairwell of of how the shooter accessed the roof. There's a lot of like, why did he jump off a roof if he's just there to hang out?
Yeah. Are there not enough actual conspiracies that people got to make shit up?
There are so many people that don't want him to be the killer, or they want him to go free the same way they want that Luigi Mangione to go free, because they don't care that he killed this guy because this guy's an enemy.
Real quick, just on the Hassan thing, I just wanted to point out he's once again in his Chairman Mao bullshit, and he's really getting into the political space, hanging out with different candidates this year.
Yeah,
and it's going to bite some of them in the ass. He said that because there was a part of his stream where his audience came up and went, "Hey, you could hurt these candidates," and he said, "Oh, Zoran Mondami proved that's not true." That was New York City, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. The guy that introduced him at this speech is looking at up to 3 years in prison.
This fat guy. He's 3 years in prison for a felony for a protest. I need to know what kind of felony you get from a protest.
The kind where you throw shit at the cops and don't disperse.
Yeah, they apparently took, according to his wording, they went into the dean's office or the principal's office. I don't fucking care. And they just magically threw a felony at him.
Yeah, they were trespassing, illegal occupation. They trashed the place. As I recall, they were resisting arrest and throwing stuff at the police. So,
Yeah.
not surprised. But this big tub of goo is trying to raise money for legal defense and the defense of other people that want to do that sort of nonsense.
Did it involve arson? It'd be a bigger felony if it was arson.
Yeah, that would be like 5 to 7 years or more.
Anyway, I didn't want to talk much about this. I'm just tired of seeing this fat fucking commie who's a millionaire Nepo baby who's like, we need communism. What? And seeing him dressed up like fucking really shitty people and nobody saying anything. Anonymous, thank you. Just interrupting your train of thought. You didn't have to do that. That train has been derailed. But I appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. Did I have anything else? Oh, I want to. We're gonna go back to Phoebe because I this is another one of those. I kind of like doing these off the cuff. I like doing them where I have something to talk about, but nothing that's like deep on my mind. I do like the deep on my mind ones. Don't get me wrong. I'm sitting on the toilet earlier, Jack, playing a video game because that's what I do, and doing my business.
Yeah.
I've been sick, so there's enough time to get some good gaming streams in. And I don't know why the thought occurred to me. You ever see one of those movies or TV shows where there's a love triangle and it's two guys and a girl, and eventually the two guys confront each other, and then one of them looks at the other one and goes, "I love her, man," and that ends the whole thing. Like, oh, I didn't realize you loved her. I'll let you have her. I don't know why that popped in my head. I think it's because that kind of writing is shit. And
Yeah, it's
where I
lazy.
was sitting, I don't know a single guy in this world that, he finds out his friend is banging his chick. And then his friend's like, "But I love her, bro." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize that you loved her. Go ahead and keep porking her." That is so unrealistic.
Yeah,
that
that's like how
that what
women
women
think
want?
relationships work.
Dude, women, do you want to be with a guy who will let you go to the dude you're cheating on him with and be like, "Well, since you love her." Phoebe looks like a painting. That's some quality art. She was so comfy that day. She got annoyed earlier on my lap because she comes in and sits on my lap in my chair, and I, cross my legs over. But she's a big cat. She's like 2 feet long. There's not a lot of room for her on my lap. So when she gets really comfortable and she wants to like roll over like that to get comfy, there's no room to do so. And she kept just giving me these little claws, like I was supposed to move so she could get more comfortable.
Yep.
I have nowhere to go.
Oh, not on that spot. That's where you go.
No, they want to be with a guy they leave him for. They're just with the weak dude for the time being. I think that's a kind of a cynical way of looking at it.
There are women like that can't stand to be alone, and they'll take just about anyone.
Sure.
Or somebody that's tolerable, but thankfully it's not all of them.
I think in real life, in most of those cases, the woman actually likes the guy she's with, and then she falls in love with the other guy, and she's just too big of a bitch to break it off with the first guy.
Yeah.
And I think guys do the same thing if they're cheating on a woman, just too big of a bitch to be like, "I'm going to go with her."
Well, and a lot of times the grass is not greener on the other side. It's just during that sweet honeymoon period where the excitement of this affair is taking place. And then they get in a relationship with that second person and they realize it's not going to work out. And then they'll sometimes try and get back with the first guy.
Yeah. Which
don't take them back. It's a trap.
Dumb.
Yeah. Don't ever take them back. Sour milk stays sour.
I will say this. I'm not somebody who believes if you get cheated on, you can never go back. But if you leave, stay left. Especially if you don't have children, you're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Fuck off. Fuck off. Why would you get back with a girlfriend who cheated on you?
Yeah, she left you, and yeah, fuck that bitch. Hey, Kyle. Oh, I'll be right back. Hold on.
I had a friend when I worked at Walmart. I've mentioned this before. They'd been married for like 20 years. Her husband cheats on her. She moves out. Actually, he moved out because he moved in with his mom. And everybody was telling her, never go back, never go back. They still had 3 kids under the age of 18. And I was like, look, if you get back with him, don't let these people tell you not to. That's some Oprah Winfrey bullshit. History is replete with people who have cheated on their partners and they get back together. It happens. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but the idea that you would throw away 20 years because of some stupid shit, that's dumb. If it's some girl you've been dating for 6 months, fuck that bitch. Did you guys see the story I sent you? Which story? You have to realize I haven't been on Twitter for days, and I came back today and there was a bunch of shit there. I read a bunch of it and I looked at a bunch of it. I don't remember what all I saw. I'm a proponent of fuck everyone. That's fair. That's fair. I don't think that cheating is the be all end all. What I really love about cheating, this is going to say that's a horrible segue into this. Women will tell you, hey, it's not supposed to be all about sex. But if you cheat on her, suddenly sex is the most important thing. If you cheat on a woman, suddenly that same woman who's like, sex is not the most important thing in our relationship, she gives a fuck about it then. Suddenly nothing matters more than sex. And then make up your mind. Is sex that important or is it not? Because I'll be honest with you. I think if you ladies put out more, guys would cheat less. Just saying. That's fucked up. I don't know if that's true or not. It depends on your situation, I guess.
I think it depends on how much they're putting out.
Oh, the cat that got raped by a migrant. Yeah, I saw the story. I didn't read it because I didn't want to get pissed off and punch something. Did you see that story, Jack?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. The cat's doing well. I'm guessing he was an Asian migrant. That's a little dick joke. The feeling is mutual, gentlemen. What do we say? I don't know which one. Let the hate flow through. No, there's certain stories that I can't. I know I can't read them. Anyone's with severe child abuse. I know that sounds bad. Part of our job is to talk about the news. So if it's mildly written, I can read it. But if they start getting into specifics, I knew I'm gonna have to turn this off before my heart explodes. I do like to watch Dr. Todd Grand. He calls cheaters impulsive, looking for a thrill. I think that's probably a lot of it. Again, man, I'm not defending cheating, but especially as who I am. For those of you who are new around here, I am product of with my mom after it, and so maybe that colors it a bit. Alan, thank you. You already gave me my song, but I'm really glad to get you today. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Alan. You're right. We did sing to you.
Happy birthday, Alan.
I hope you had a great day, and thank you for that generous donation, my friend.
Hope you had a good day, man.
Microsoft is putting a pause on hiring. Why would they be hiring anyway? Is there some advancement going on at Microsoft that I'm not aware of? I was watching a video on the whole thing going on with Epic and how they fired 1,000 people. And I was watching Ackman. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
No.
He keeps making a big deal about how Epic made $5 billion last year. $5 billion. They had $5 billion in revenue. That's not the same as making $5 billion.
Well, you see, the problem with a lot of people is they don't know the difference because they're stupid or they're just ignorant. and they conflate the two. So they obviously owe people jobs.
Osby, I'm absolutely a bastard. I am. Revenue dangerous. They made $5 billion in. The problem at Epic is not a problem with greed, because that's the whole thing. And again, it's another one where I'm watching video game people and like they're all so greedy. It's not a problem with greed. It's a problem with bad management. That's still a good talking point to bring up. You made $5 billion and you can't keep 5,000 people employed.
But companies have to make a profit, and if they're bleeding money, there are several reasons for that, and one of them is often poor management.
When you have a company that can deal with laying off 1,000 people, you're probably running the company badly. This wasn't laying off 10 people in, HR. This is 1,000 people out of a full fifth of their workforce. If you can afford to fire those people and keep the company running, they probably shouldn't have been working there.
Yeah, last time you brought up the example of Twitter when Elon Musk took over, and that's pretty accurate, I think.
But so many people always fall back on it's greed, because the guy who's the CEO is a billionaire. Like you think the billionaire just needed a couple $100 million more. That's what this was. He's just that big of a prick that he needs a couple $100 million to supplement his $1 billion worth. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Real quick. Thank you, Alan, for the very generous donation. I had a great day, my friend. Thank you. Oh, glad to hear it, man. I always want people to have a really good day on their birthday.
Me too. Look, I want you to have a really good day every day. Unlike Jack, I like you every day, but I especially want you to have a good day on your birthday.
No, some people shouldn't have good days. Like Hassan. He should have bad days often.
Are you following all the takes on the Supreme Court recently? Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. I made the mistake of listening to the oral arguments the other day on birthright citizenship. Oh.
Did you hear how smart Jumanji Brown Jackson is?
Bro, I have my feelings on birthright citizenship. It shouldn't be a thing. It's nonsense. But I'm listening to the arguments, and I missed the first part of them, so I missed her first questioning. But she comes around near the end and starts questioning, and I realize, like, oh my God, this woman is a fucking moron. She's just an absolute idiot. And it was right after that somebody mentioned a case coming out of, I think it was Colorado, where Colorado had banned conversion therapy. But a therapist sued them on free speech grounds because she doesn't do anything medically other than talk. She is a talk therapist. And she wants to be able to make recommendations of all kinds of things, which may even include religious teachings. Not from her, but like, hey, you should go see this pastor kind of thing. And under Colorado law, you can't do that. And there, how many states was it? 23 or something like that? And the Supreme Court in an 8-1 decision said, no, that's bullshit. That's a violation of free speech. And Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote a dissent longer than the synopsis, the court decision, and Kagan's concurrence combined. And in it, all she said was stupid shit. It is so bad that in Kagan's concurrence, remember Kagan being one of the lefties on the court, there's a footnote in Kagan's concurrence saying that Jackson said this goes against our court precedent or something like that. But her own examples show that we're right.
Yeah, her citations were contradictory.
Yeah. The woman is an absolute fucking moron.
Yeah.
The only dissent, yes, it was an 8-1 decision. Even Sotomayor was like, yeah, this is a violation of free speech. But there's Ketanji up there like, no, because if we do this, then states won't be able to regulate medicine. It's talk therapy, bitch. It is literally speech. I, whatever. And it's not dangerous speech. We're not talking about like the chick is telling kids to go jump off a bridge or something. But, she's a moron. By the way, according to President Biden, the smartest black woman on the planet.
Wow, that was backhanded compliment to black people.
Yep. What is your opinion on Wong Kim Ark? I don't know what that's in reference to, so no opinion yet. It's bad when you have Sotomayor going with the opposite side. Yeah. One thing the Supreme Court has usually been good on is free speech. Maybe even to the extreme, like the New York Times case, where you're a public figure, you don't get to sue people for defamation. I think there's a problem with how that's handled. I think that public figures, should it be a higher bar? Well, it depends. But I think they should be able to sue in some very clear cases. Like Donald Trump has been accused of some serious crimes, not making bad decisions, but absolute crimes. And if he wants to sue those people for that stuff, he should be allowed to, because they are knowingly spreading false information to defame him, to hurt his character. Oh my God, I watched I forget who Constantine was talking to, but he's talking to this guy about free speech. And the guy asked him, what if I took your book and just copied it word for word in a blog? Shouldn't I be able to do that under absolute free speech? Isn't that the same as if you hurt my feelings by saying something mean? That's
what?
Yeah, I'm not making this up. I'm paraphrasing the fuck out of it. But his argument is the government should be allowed to censor speech because we have intellectual property laws. If you took all of his words and put it onto a blog, that could be depriving him of money. That's you're stealing. If I call you a cunt, I might have hurt your feelings. That's it. There's no damage you can claim from that other than I got hurt feelings. Thank you, Chuck. If birthright citizenship goes, they're going to send brothers back to the motherland. That's their goal. Wright is talking about it. They can go ahead and say that all they want to, but if you listen to the arguments, even in the Solicitor General's arguments, they ask him about this. Like, what about all the people who've been given birth? They want clean slate. We stop now. The ones that are already citizens, they stay citizens. And just from here on, if they're born here, they're citizens of their own country. Anybody who's talking shit about sending people back to Africa is a retard. Because remember, the 14th Amendment, the very stuff that gave birth to the birthright citizenship nonsense, was specifically over slavery. That's what it was written for. Because people were like, they're not citizens. Like, well, you brought them here, motherfucker. Anyway, no, they aren't. Black people are mixed race. Not true. This is the motherland. Do a DNA test. Well, I mean, if we look at the indigenous folk, they only get to a certain shade of brown. Anyone darker than like vanilla frappe color, they have some roots in Africa. I say they're Americans, though, because they've been here fucking long enough. Hell, some of them might have lineages longer than mine. The Irish came over well after slavery was invented. Just saying. Hi, people. What's up, Devil Fruit? How you doing, man? I do think it's time to stop with this nonsense about where we're all from. it's okay to be proud of your roots and stuff, but fuck, especially if you're several generations into the US, you're American. Just shut up.
Yeah, suck it up. You're American. Deal with it. You
Yeah.
don't like it, leave. You want to be claimed somewhere else? Go there and live.
US blacks are around 20% white on average. That's fair. But
well, after a few hundred years of like interracial relationships, it's going to happen.
Yeah. How's Michigan? Miserable, man. 2 days ago, my forecast for this coming week had most days in the 50s. Today, the forecast for this coming week has most of the days in the 30s. I fucking hate Michigan. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm getting a little frustrated with the yo-yo weather. We're having that down here too.
I'm originally from Canada. I can't wait to be an American. Well, good on you. Good on you.
Yeah,
Just
glad to have you.
Don't bring that. We have enough pussies here, so don't come down here and be like your Canadian government.
That's why he fled, probably.
Hopefully. He's like, they're trying to mate me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
That means that 1 in 5 blacks must be returned to Europe.
I mean, that could only help Europe at this point. They need all the help they can get.
We reached 106 in Phoenix a week ago. I watch a lot of gardening videos because I'm an old man now. And one of my favorites that I watch, they come on and the guy's talking about what to plant this month, right? And he says, here in San Diego, it's 90 degrees right now. And I'm like, fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
They can have that. I don't want that shit.
Oh, 90 degrees. Oh, I could just die. I'm so tired of cold. So the other day it was 50 degrees outside, and I said out loud, "That's not so bad today," and I immediately hated myself.
One of us. One of us.
This is what happens when me making an effort to get outside more. I'm acclimating to this shitty ass weather. Anyway,
dude. Real quick, thank you, Alan. There's a notification that says you need to update your tip settings to keep receiving tips. Just a heads up. Oh, I'll have to try and figure that out. Thanks for letting me know. Appreciate that.
Thank you, good little DEI hire, who says, according to us leftists, cutting off body parts and taking opposite sex hormones is conversion therapy, like electroshock therapy. Well, this is one of the things that they're talking about in the decision. They're mentioning that this woman isn't advocating for anything traditionally thought of as conversion therapy. She's not advocating for shock therapy or, let's just call it what a lot of it was, torture. She's literally arguing for the ability to talk. Yeah. And no, you are acclimating to your state, and your state sucks rocks. You're not wrong about that.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of unusually warm springs around here, and I got used to it. 90 degrees Fahrenheit is 35 degrees too hot. I don't know what kind of witchcraft math you're trying to do there, but 90 degrees is 90 degrees. I don't recognize Celsius. Celsius sounds like a pill you take to keep your penis hard.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You think that would have been covered under the First Amendment? You would think, you would. And it was. That's what the court came down and said. But Ketanji Brown Jackson is a fucking retard. Look, I am not a huge fan of Sotomayor. I think she's dumb as dirt. Kagan, I have a little more respect for. I disagree with her a lot. And I think some of her decisions are emotionally made rather than legally or, normal. But at least she, how do I want to say this? Because I don't want to insinuate she's smart. She's smarter. Let me put it that way. For a lefty, I get where she's coming from. How about that?
Yeah.
Sotomayor gets on the court, and I'm like, oh, fuck, that chick is retarded.
Oh, you mean Brown Jackson?
No, I meant Sotomayor.
Oh yeah. Well, and then the world showed you there was worse.
Yeah, it's kind of like, don't challenge the universe with like, can you get any dumber? Because they'll be like, sure. Because she makes Sotomayor, Ketanji Brown Jackson makes Sotomayor look like a fucking genius. Listening to her questions and stuff are oh my God. I don't know how the others haven't gotten together and beat her to death, Caesar style, just to be rid of this meddlesome beast. Yeah, God damn, because she makes them look bad. For the record, on the birthright citizenship thing, I think it's probably going to come down to a 3-6 decision, 3-4-6 against. I hope it comes down at least 5-4 so that we get to get rid of birthright citizenship because it's shit. So you're saying she's this queen of the tarts? Yes. And I swear to God, you can look it up. Biden said she's like the smartest black woman on the planet. I've seen Shaniqua down at the local store who's smarter than her. And she got 5 kids and a crack addiction. We need Tommy Sotomayor. Yes. Michigan is amazing. I love this state. You have been smoking something you're not supposed to be smoking, sir. Look, if I was just visiting Michigan, it probably wouldn't be bad. If you guys, all seriousness, don't take your own car here because we'll fuck up your tires. But if you wanted to visit Michigan, there's a lot of nice stuff in Michigan to check out and come up for the Cherry Festival. It's beautiful up north during that time of year. We have better foliage for fall leaf tours than New England does. There's some really good things. Don't live here though. Go live in Ohio or Iowa or well, maybe not Illinois because fuck. But somewhere close where you can just come visit. Just saying. Go to Detroit for the sporting events. Yeah. How have the Red Wings been doing? For a long time, they were the only sport or the only team worth watching. And I'm not a hockey fan, so I don't watch. And you had to be careful a couple of times a year or once a year because they'd like win a championship and they'd set everything on fire. Because definitely not Illinois. Yeah. People only want to move to Ohio if they are rich to flee places like Michigan and the coast. Yeah, I'm shocked more people don't live in the middle of the country. Because I get going to the beach. I love going to the beach, but the coasts are so fucked now. Anyway, Jack, any stories you've seen you want to talk about?
Did you see that guy that got found in a suitcase?
No, like
yeah, he was some
dead?
sex offender. He was chopped up.
He's a sex offender?
Yep.
Aww.
This isn't a crime.
Yeah, whoever did that, they should put their name on it so we know who to thank.
Right?
Gotta love a black justice whose first example that came to mind is stealing a wallet. Look, she's not smart.
We should probably talk about Pam Bondi being out.
Oh, right. Pam got fired.
Yeah.
There you go. There's my take on it.
Yeah. There are other people I think would be better for the job. And I don't like this Bergman guy they're putting in. I think he's just going to be interim.
Look, I'm just going to be honest here. A lot of people hate Bondi. Their stated reason, if they're real, like she's ineffective. Like, oh, just wait, because you're just going to have a string of ineffective ones.
Yeah, that's the problem with positions like this. It's a bunch of people that don't want to do anything because they're playing politics and not actually doing people's work.
Thank you, Kingslayer. Damocles, who remembers when Ketanji Brown Jackson said she was an originalist during her hearings? What a liar. Well, in fairness to her, she probably didn't know what it meant. She was confused by the concept of women. Just saying. Ketanji Brown Jackson is a good example of how educated and smart are not the same. True. As for Bondi, she made a lot of mistakes that. Why were you in the news so much? You dumb motherfucker. Most of her big problems came from her opening her goddamn mouth when she should have been off doing her fucking job. So hopefully the next guy is not a camera chaser. Hey, look at me. I don't think the next guy's going to be any more effective, but hopefully he'll be far less visible being a retard. There was a report that the final straw for Trump is that Bondi tipped off Swalwell over the investigation into him. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. Real quick, thank you, Tarkata. Have you guys seen the video where a guy was asking people, is it homophobic that Trump is asking for help with the Straits of Hormuz, but not the gays of Hormuz? Its answers were scary. Yeah, I saw that, and it was hilariously frightening.
I did not see it, but that's funny. I don't like Pam Bondi because she never returned my messages about banging. I mean, that's fair. You can take that personal. I don't have faith in the people who work for our government. And the fact that Trump hired him. Did you guys pay attention to who he hired the first time?
Yeah.
He did a better job of getting more loyal people in this administration, but he's really not good at doing this part of the job. And in fairness, you're talking about career politicians that they're hiring into these places. They're bad at what they're doing. Yeah. So again, I don't think the next guy is going to be any better, but goddamn, hopefully he's not on TV so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no shit.
She had that big thing with like, hey, we're giving these binders to the people with the Epstein files, and literally all of it was shit we already knew.
Yeah, that was a big erosion of trust right there for a lot of people.
The only thing good about Bondi is she allowed Harmeet Dillon to run the Civil Rights Division virtually unobstructed. Yes.
Yeah,
And
Dylan's doing a great job.
Yeah, Dylan's doing good out there. I like her.
Yeah. And I'm not just saying that because she follows me on X.
You get followed by her? That's unfair. I don't get followed.
Oh, well, I mean,
I'm sad now.
Sorry. You have way bigger people following you.
Oh, but mostly morons, if I'm being honest. Not you guys. Not you guys. My haters.
Yeah, man. I don't know. There's a lot of people on the internet that probably should be out on the internet. They should probably be doing arts and crafts in a facility somewhere.
Yeah. There's a man. I was catching up on some drama and stuff today. I watched both of Willie Mack's videos I hadn't seen, which focus on Myron and from Fresh and Fit, Fuentes, Clavicular, whatever the fuck that gay guy's name is, Sneeko, and all of them. And I'm just watching this, and the retardation in these people. The absolute retardation. And I don't mean to pick on the manosphere because I've done that many times and, you know, it's deserved, but at some point, Clavicular is out there telling people to hit themselves in the face with a hammer to make yourself look better.
Yeah, well, he's not real smart.
This is a guy who has admittedly made himself sterile from all the drugs he's taken. He low doses meth.
Yeah.
And like, what? How do you have a platform when you're going on there telling people your Clavicular is an actual autist? I don't believe he's an actual autist. I think he's a retard.
Yeah, I think he's just really dumb.
Yeah. People get called autist a lot when what they are is just stupid.
Yeah.
Look maxing, the new thing. I don't believe in look maxing because I believe at that point you're just a tranny.
Yeah, it's pretty gay.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it's pretty gay.
If you're a guy that into your own appearance, you're a chick. You just don't know it. Uh, do we really want him reproducing? No, I don't want him reproducing at all, but I also don't want anybody beating themselves in the face with a hammer. For the record, you're supposed to do it really lightly. Just bang a piece of metal into your face lightly over I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to do for you.
I don't know. It sounds like some TikTok nonsense.
It's fucking retarded.
Yeah, that guy's probably gonna do some jail time anyway. He was in some kind of domestic dispute, got arrested in Florida.
Yep. He also wears eyeliner. Yeah, he wears all kinds of makeup. He wears concealer too.
Yeah.
There's in Willie's video, there's one where he's putting concealer on because he's got zits. Like, be a man, you pussy.
Look maxing is just a very light version of drag queens.
I'm sticking with tranny. But tomato, right?
Yeah. Did you see the thing about Mount Everest?
No, what's going on with that?
Climbers were being secretly poisoned by their guides.
What?
Yeah, because it was basically a scam to make money, because then they'd have to call in a very expensive emergency rescue service who was giving them kickbacks. They were making like $15 million on this.
Damn, I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah, so the guides were poisoning them with baking soda to collect insurance money, basically.
What was that? I used to wear eyeliner back in my goth days. So do you like women now? I wore eyeliner when I was on stage. That's the only time I've worn eyeliner.
Yeah, eyeliner is for chicks.
The last time I had eyeliner on, the makeup artist who was doing my makeup for me was using a very dull pencil, and oh my god, like, bitch, go sharpen that, because she was having to press real hard to make it. Oh, like, you're hurting me. I'd also gotten into a fight a few days before that performance, and the pussy I was fighting scratched my face, so I had this little cut on my face, and she tried cleaning it off. She thought I just was dirty. I like, bitch, that is an open wound. Do you mind? Anyway, your days on the pole. Yes. It's where I met your mom. Anyway, I only wear makeup at special occasions. That's fair. That's fair. I'm just so tired of guys acting like chicks. I really am. I'm not saying don't bathe. Don't be Al Bundy, male. But god damn, why are y'all acting like women?
Because that's what they were raised to do.
Look maxing. The only way that could be gayer is if you're literally sucking a dick when you say it. Anyway. Now, I've been watching a lot of influencers and paying attention to how absolutely retarded many of them are.
Oh, yeah, they're dumb.
Well, she did Tard Outreach, apparently. And she didn't charge me much. Wash your butthole, but don't buy a lipstick. Yes. Wash yourself and be a man, damn it. If you know what? I was watching Shane Gillis earlier, one of his comedy specials, and at the end he's talking about how he used to coach in this Special Olympics. And he said the other teams would look at him and be like, "Oh, I think they're letting one of them coach." He's just, if you're an ugly man, just be an ugly man. It's okay. It's okay. I know Andrew Tate is going to tell you, you got to make yourself look like a pretty woman so that men will want you. Whoops. So women will want you. No, you don't. No, you don't. Have you seen like powerful men throughout history? Most of the motherfuckers are ugly as shit.
Well, that's part of their motivation.
Most of them look like their mom and sister are the same person. What does it say? Jokes were very homo acting sometimes. Jocks. I mean, yeah. Look, it's one thing to make jokes, it's another to actually live the lifestyle. That's all. And
It's all about the commitment.
I got nothing against gay guys. One of the stories we talked about earlier, I saw from Mike. That dude is as gay as the day is long. What I have a problem with is repressed homosexuals who are pretending to tell men how to be men and they're acting like women. Stop acting like a woman. That's all. I said the same thing when we saw the riots over Nike shoes. Like guys going gaga and starting riots over a fucking shoe.
You remember the British, what were they called? The British Knights?
British Knights, oh yeah.
Yeah, which was partly owned by the Klan.
We were actually talking about British Knights the other day. That's a weird coincidence. I haven't thought about British Knights in years, and suddenly in the last week twice.
They were a big flash in the pan. It's weird that they come up twice in a week. Or a couple days even.
But yeah, these guys going out there and like, I need all these shoes, and they have whole closets dedicated to shoes. I'm like, you're a bitch. You're a woman, man. That's all right. Bros like their shoes. See, until Air Jordans come out, here's a little history lesson for you. Until Air Jordans come out, the most popular shoe around is whatever dirty fucking shoe you had on your foot. Nobody cared about your feet. Go watch Footloose. I know some of y'all, you don't have to watch the whole thing. Just watch the opening when they do the song and you see people dancing. There ain't no fancy male shoes in that thing. You used to wear raggedy jeans and your old shoes. And then Air Jordans come around and suddenly the propaganda has turned men into bitches who are salivating over the new release of a shoe.
Yeah. Nobody ever did that with Chuck Taylors.
No. And Chuck Taylors haven't changed in millennia.
Right?
We were at a shoe store not long ago and they had some Chuck E. T's up there. And sure enough, black, got the emblem on the side, exactly as I remember mine being.
Yeah, I think they come in what, 3 colors? Black, red, and blue. That's about
They have
it.
white ones.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember ever seeing any.
But if you want to be real, you wear the black ones.
Yeah,
high top, low top doesn't count.
Yeah, low tops don't count. But I've never seen a guy go into a shoe store and be like, "Oh my god, look at those loafers! Oh my god!"
The lack of shoes is the only non-gay part of that film. Okay, let's take the film is gay part of it, right? Even in that gay film, they weren't worshiping shoes. That doesn't come till Fight Club. What do we got going on in the chat? There was something else I wanted to talk about, and I don't remember what it was. I hate when that happens. Frankly, I've had a lot of thoughts over the last several weeks that haven't made it onto air because I think of them when I'm laying there at 3:00 in the morning, unable to breathe out of my nose and just hoping I pass out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then the next day I forget.
Was it the Supergirl trailer or the Masters of the Universe trailer?
What was the other one?
Masters of the Universe.
I have seen both, and I don't have hope for either movie. Let's start with He-Man.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like that they've turned Adam into a giant pussy.
They do that with everything now. All men are giant pussies.
Well, they do this a lot with stories where the guy eventually gets his power back or whatever. He can't just be a man but without his powers. He's a bitch without his powers.
Yeah, it's I like to refer to it as the James Gunn effect. Because you'll notice there's always like these people lacking confidence or social misfits who suddenly become heroes, and that makes them good people. That that'll come up again in the Supergirl trailer here when we talk about that.
Yeah.
My main problem with the He-Man trailer is I don't want anything to do with Earth. It takes away from the epicness of it and locks it into a time period. Look at the 1980s movie. It's clearly in the 1980s.
Yeah.
And that storyline doesn't make a lot of sense that way. Okay, you send him off to another world to hide or whatever. Okay, you could do that, but it would be better to do it on another fantasy planet. You know, Mattel owns a lot of franchises. It's not that hard.
I get why they do it because it's an immediate connection with the audience.
Yeah, but
you're right.
It's assuming the audience is stupid because they can only relate if you have Earth jokes in there.
In fairness, it also makes the production cheaper because you don't have to build sets for the other planet.
Yeah, but I mean the CGI isn't that spectacular so far.
So understatement, I'm gonna hurt you. He says, but Monk, he's nothing without that suit. That line still pisses me off from that movie.
In that movie, yes. But what pissed me off most about the Spider-Man franchise is that he's given the great power comes great responsibility line from Aunt May.
The suit doesn't do anything for him in that movie. Almost everything that he does, he could have done in his regular suit.
The only identity, Monkey.
The only thing that suit does is keep him entertained when he's locked in the building overnight.
No, that's his coming out clothes. It gives him spider euphoria.
I fucking hated that line. Like, you didn't earn that moment. You didn't show the suit do fuck all.
Nothing about the majority of the last 10 superhero movies has been earned.
Fair.
Nothing. It's all given to them. There's no struggle. There's no tension. There's no real conflict.
There was an earned moment, or at least one that worked very well, and it's when Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man saves MJ, and he gets his hero moment that he never got in his own franchise because they canceled it after they killed Gwen off.
Yeah, I think that was probably an accident more than intentional. I am kind of cautiously optimistic about Masters after seeing the new trailer.
Oh, why?
Because I really, really want it to be good.
Fair.
It's delusion. I fully admit that.
Nope. I understand 100% what you mean there, but go ahead.
I've heard people criticizing Skeletor's voice. I didn't have a problem with it. He doesn't have to have a high-pitched, whiny voice. That's like kiddie shit they were doing in the cartoon. The movie should appeal toward young audiences. It's a power fantasy, just like superhero films. Your target demographic is like 10 to 15. Let's be honest.
Yep.
Also, I do like a lot of the toys that are coming out now, so I've been buying those.
What I don't understand is that you're right that it's mostly for that age of boy, but those of us who were that age at a time when it came out, I would be fine with a plot similar to one of the cartoons if you nail it. I don't need a deep, meaningful He-Man story. It's fucking He-Man.
Yeah. They were thinly veiled morality tales.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, you could do an Aesop fable and it wouldn't be that far off.
So just do it for that audience and men will show up and will like it.
Yeah. Action and adventure and explosions. It's really all we require. It has some guys in cool costumes running around swordplay and gunfire. Explosions. You know, there's not a lot that goes into this. It's kind of hard to purposely or to inadvertently screw that up. You almost purposely have to do it. But the new trailer showed Ram Man, Fisto, Mechanic, the cat. I'm not sure which version of the cat it is, if they're going to go with the Cringer storyline or if it's actually Battle Cat.
I did like that the cat in the MGM logo was Battle Cat.
I don't know why they didn't do that in the first trailer. That's just poor planning.
Hey, hang on one moment. Yes, Cowboy Mrs. We have a request for a birthday song for Tim the Toolman.
Oh, yeah.
Around here we do this, and a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
To you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Happy
dear Tim
birthday,
the Tool
dear
Man.
Tim the Tool Man.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
you.
Happy birthday, sir. Hope you have a good one. And JB, shut up. I saw it. I was just waiting for Jack to finish talking.
Yeah, I was rambling. Sorry.
Anyway, okay, he's on point tonight. I am reading chat. I am. This is another positive side effect of me not going through stories for the whole show is that I get to pay more attention to chat.
Yeah, well, and like Rotten Corpse just said, this subversion and deconstruction crap is boring.
Yes.
It was never good. It's been played out. Everybody's trying to copy The Dark Knight Returns from 1986 or Watchmen. Those were two well done deconstructionist books. You can't do that every time. At some point, you have to build the character back up and actually make them back to the starting position, or the deconstruction just means nothing. It's completely pointless. And what I saw in the trailer, which they reveal too much of the trailer, like always, because people that work in the movie industry are complete fucking retards. We do see him become He-Man. There is going to be a battle with Skeletor, and it better not be in the last 5 goddamn minutes of the movie. He better be He-Man through the majority of this film, or it's going to really bomb.
Oh, you know he's not, right?
I know, but they need to start actually showing heroic adventure again, because that's what sells. That's where your money is. And if they don't realize that, they're stupid. They're wasting a tremendous amount of talent and quality characters. These characters have a 50-year legacy. It's time you actually started treating them like a valuable property. It's just like superheroes across the board. There is a long legacy there of American mythology that is being squandered by morons, reprobates, and incompetent hacks. And I'm really getting sick of it. And Supergirl is the perfect example.
But before we get to Supergirl, I was watching Drinker's take on. Oh, we got to talk about Jarbo later. I was watching Drinker's take on the new Mario movie, and it's a decent review of it. He says if you like the first movie, you'll probably like this one. If you are looking for anything deep, this ain't it for you. And it got me to thinking about shows that we watched when we were young, Jack, like He-Man, right? Every day or week when they were coming out weekly, or if you count them after school, it was every day. He-Man would have to stop some Skeletor plan, and then Skeletor would get away, and then in the next show you'd see He-Man trying to stop Skeletor's plan, and then the next one, it is going to come as a surprise. He-Man is going to stop Skeletor's plan. They have a problem in Hollywood, and this is really noticeable in the comic things because comic book villains rarely die. They rarely go away forever. But in the movies, the good guy has to win to the point where the bad guy is no longer allowed. And that's not really related to the Mario movie. It just made me think of it. They can do that same thing with movies. Do you remember do you remember first watching He-Man?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the 5-episode arc that told us the backstory of He-Man?
Yeah.
There wasn't much to it.
No, it really wasn't.
It was like, this is He-Man. There you go. But every goddamn movie has to have an origin story. And while this isn't the true origin story because he's already been He-Man before from what we've seen and he just lost the power, it's basically an origin story. Just start as fucking He-Man.
I hate to correct you, but it looks like he wasn't He-Man before.
No, he was He-Man before because he keeps seeing the sword trying to get back to being He-Man.
No, he keeps seeing the sword because that's the sorceress calling him to come back to Eternia to save them.
There's a part in the one trailer where the guy says you got to stop telling people you're from another planet. He remembers being He-Man.
No, he remembers being a kid. They never show him. We don't know for a fact that's how it is. It's sort of alluded to that he is drawn to the sword because there's some lore to that he was chosen because of his lineage. He's the descendant of King Grayskull. So the sword is his family heirloom, more or less. So they need a hero to come back and So, but he does say none of you remember me, so you might be right. But I've seen different takes on that, so I don't know. We'll have to probably wait and see. I'm probably going to be the only one that goes sees this movie anyway. So
they race swap Man at Arms and Tila, so no dice. I mean, that's fair if that matters to you. I don't mind Man at Arms being black. I don't remember any part of his story where that was. Did they not have black people on his planet?
Clamp Champ. That was, I think, the only black guy. There might have been one more, but most people, well, they have a diversity of like alien races anyway. So I don't know. I'm just cautiously optimistic that maybe this one won't be entire dog shit trash like we are used to getting, and that maybe the political aspects of the message that we usually get might be toned down a little bit because people are kind of getting sick of that shit, and they're maybe going to realize that, but I doubt it.
Bet they do Thundercats soon. I bet after Cats they don't even try it.
Release the butthole cut.
Release the butthole cut. I don't think, as long as it doesn't, affect the story. I don't care what color these guys are. They're aliens. It's not like a historical event or something. Yeah. And it's not integral to their, like Snape being black makes literally no sense.
Yeah, that's stupid. And he's wearing pleather on top of that, so he just looks like a hobo.
He's way too young to be Snape.
Yeah.
But it is an important part of his look is how white he is. Like I said last time, they can change McGonagall and I wouldn't care.
You know,
make her a little Chinese woman. I don't give a shit.
They should have cast Marilyn Manson to play Snape.
That actually would have been a good look.
Yeah, because he looks like the description. He looks all creepy and like the weird kid in high school,
I think Alan Rickman's did good, especially early on. They kind of cleaned up his hair in the later ones. He's supposed to have streaky, greasy hair.
Yeah, he's supposed to look like my cousin.
Yeah,
the unwashed masses kind of look. But I think that's a look that Marilyn Manson could have pulled off really well. You don't need, it's fucking show on TV. You don't really have to have a lot of talent to do it. So Marilyn Manson's done some acting, so you'd probably be okay. But he could take some classes. That'd have been better casting.
Anybody that's not darker than milk is a bad choice because it's literally part of his character. Anyway, let's get on to Supergirl, shall we?
Indeed.
I didn't realize how ugly that bitch was. Look, Hollywood, stop hiring British actresses. I know she sounds American, but I'm telling you, that is a British chick who's just learned our accent.
Sean King.
Nice.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds.
Did you see what that dumb bitch said in an interview? So she said that women face scrutiny for simply existing.
Yep.
That's a great way of saying that my movie sucks and I know it. Yeah, she's not like super hot. I'd probably hit it, but I have low standards.
I was watching Disparu. I'm going to switch our kitty cat for a minute. This is Kingslayer Damocles kitty cat. Oh, I went over here to get the Jarbo thing since we're talking about that. The story looks really bad. Supergirl has like no home and she's mad because her dog is sick. And so she goes on a beating spree. I'm guessing the dog gets saved at the end.
Yeah, it's a storyline written by Tom King about 8 years ago. They're loosely adapting it. That means it's going to have a lot of mommy issues because Tom King's a fucking weirdo. I think it's stupid. How again, James Gunn effect. How often do we have to see these losers with superpowers? She's a drunk loser who can't get over the fact that the world's gone. Yeah, I'm sorry that is traumatic. Sure. Suck it up. You're supposed to be a fucking superhero. Not a sit there and whining about everything hero.
I do want to highlight this point because I was watching Disparu's take on this, and he brought up Hancock. And he's like he's a complete mess, especially at the beginning of the movie, but he's still trying to save people.
Yeah.
There's no personal gain for him there. Where she's like, from what we can tell in the trailer, doesn't care about anything until that dog gets hurt. It's her
Yeah.
dog that sets her in motion, not using her powers to help people.
No, because helping people would be a selfless act. And what I've learned is a lot of these directors and writers are incredibly selfish people who wouldn't do anything to help anybody that didn't benefit them directly. They start out all as scumbags and become reluctant heroes. That can
Yeah.
work occasionally, but even though James Gunn didn't make this movie, his fingerprints are all fucking over it, because this is exactly what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, that movie Super, and what was that shitty evil Superman one with the little kid that looked like a hornet. Anyway,
Don't remember.
I don't remember the name of it. That movie was dumb, but yeah, it just. I'm so tired of this. Everybody's got to be like relatably morally degenerate.
Yeah.
I'm sick of that. Why can't we have good guys for once? It's not a real story. You don't have to adapt it to make it look like they're normal people. They're supposed to be better than us.
Brightborn, they're saying, is the name of that movie.
Brightborn, yeah, thank you. Brightburn, yeah.
Brightburn, sorry. I think the problem is so many of these people don't understand that you can just write heroes from the start. They don't have to
Yeah.
be perfect. Look, reading comic books, take any superhero character. They're clearly advantaged in some way. Yet they still find a way to put adversity in front of them. Because without the adversity, it's just, Superman rules the world, because if you upset him, he can stop you in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah, you could burn your heart out from 1,000 miles away with his heat vision from his floating sky castle. Who knows?
But they find a way to have adversity, even when this is like truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah.
And Hollywood can't do that, because in their minds, the hero's journey has to be from you being a prick to you being a good guy. That's not to say you can never have an anti-hero or a Han Solo character who has a redemption arc.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't all be that.
No, it's boring.
Yeah.
It's lazy on top of that. It's actually harder to write somebody that's a good moral person and have them overcome strife.
Yeah.
Because they're putting themselves selflessly in harm's way, and then going through all this mess to try and stop some psychotic supervillain for no personal gain at all. That is really hard to write.
There's one of the greatest points in because I like Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, but they give Batman an impossible choice: save Harvey Dent or save Rachel.
Yeah.
That's how you give a good moral character something they actually have to consider. You have to give them personal stakes in it, and make it. One of my favorite storylines from Spider-Man is when Eddie Brock comes after MJ as Venom, because they fucked that whole storyline up. But back when he was Venom, and it's the personal stake for Peter there. Peter wasn't in most of the scenes in that book.
Yeah.
But if it goes to Hollywood has a script. It's like, even in stories where there's not, as much as I love Deadpool, right? From what I know of the Deadpool comic, that first movie is an affront to Deadpool. They might nail the character, but everybody around him, they just fuck up completely.
Well, I'm not a fan of the comic character, actually, because I think he's poorly written 90% of the time. Much like Lobo. It's a hard character to write because he's basically unkillable, and he's aware that he's a comic book character.
Yeah.
So it makes it difficult to write a character like that. And he's a moral scumbag on top of that. At least he used to be. Now he's more superhero inclined. But he was Deadpool was a villain originally, and Lobo's still mostly a villain. He's a bounty hunter. So it's hard to write characters like that well.
In the movie, they have to give him that romantic plot.
Yeah.
The actual story with him and Vanessa is 100% different than that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a Hollywood problem where these people they've grown up watching films, and that's fine. But they think there's only one way to do things. With especially when we're talking about comic books, how many times have we said this? The script is already literally written for you.
Yeah, it's been storyboarded. You just have to adapt it.
Yeah. But they're like, no, because audiences like when a man and a woman are attractive and get together. Like, yeah, but usually we don't watch those movies in public.
Yeah, those are usually the parody movies with 3 X's behind the name. Marvel Team Up was always great. Spider-Man worked with pretty much everybody. Black Cat, Black Widow. He didn't bang all of them.
No.
Sometimes they just had a team up. And that's okay. That's what people can have friends. I know this is going to be shocking to pretty much any writer out of the Portland area, but you can have these things called friends, and they're not people that you're having sex with. It's crazy.
I don't mind a love story. It just has to make sense. And
not everything needs a damn love story. You know what? I want to watch a Punisher movie like John Wick.
I don't mind the love story if it makes sense for the character. The characters don't seem. The problem is most of the time it's usually the female. I'm not picking on women, but it's a male character. It's his movie, his franchise, whatever, and they like force a woman in there who's either a character that they've completely redone, like Mary Jane in the original Spider-Man movie. That was Gwen Stacy that they were trying to get there. And actually it wasn't even her. Betty Brant was his first girlfriend, who was too old for him. She's kind of a grave robber if you think about it. Or not grave robber. Whoops. Cradle robber.
Yeah, well, both of them are kind of gross.
But Hollywood has this notion of everything has to be like some kind of romance. And if it works for the story, fine. But don't force a woman in there for a love plot. If you're going to force a woman in there, at least make her interesting and have something to do. And if they end up together, fine. But look at Wonder Woman, right? Wonder Woman's 2 movies. In the first one, she meets, what's his name? Steve
Trevor. Yep.
Steve Trevor. They're together for like 2 days, 3 days. And then 40 years later, she makes a wish to make this guy she knew for a couple of days come back. Captain America. I know this pisses off Captain America fans, but Carter, whatever her fucking name is, what's her name? His
Carter,
girl.
Yeah, Captain Carter.
What's her first name?
I just drew a blank now that you said that.
God damn it. There's no love story there. They don't have a romance. They're together for a couple of days. Peggy, thank you. And she tries to shoot him at one point.
Well, to be fair, they were around each other for a few months because there was time advancement over the course of that.
But they don't show anything that shows that these two actually they had a little bit of a flirtation. That's it. He kisses another woman in that movie.
Well, yeah, that chick kind of kissed him, to be fair. I get your point with Peggy, but see, they started to actually go after the storyline with his real girlfriend, who is Peggy's granddaughter, Agent Carter, the blonde girl that was the neighbor in Winter Soldier.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, she's his actual love interest. Unless you want to get to the 80s and late 80s, then it's Diamondback, but that's neither here nor there. So Agent 13 is his real girlfriend, and they started to like hint at that, and then it went nowhere. And it was never brought up again in any subsequent properties. That was really fucking irritating. And the way they wrote Cap out of the storyline was fucking dumb.
Even if I grant you that they were together for months, That they weren't actually together. They were just in the same area. They
Yeah, they
weren't
were
living together. They
they were
give
coworkers.
they don't give any indication that they saw each other on a regular basis. And then he crashes in the ocean. And he wakes up. So at least I could understand. Oh, he still has some feelings for this chick he knew a long time ago. I don't know why he had feelings for her when he barely knew her. But if you take the final scene in Endgame, right? He goes back in time and gets to live out his life with this bitch he knew for a little tiny bit of time. And all of the instances that happen around the world of shit going bad that he knows in advance are coming now.
Yeah.
He knows they're coming. And he's like nah, this chick I barely knew is way worth it.
And that doesn't fit his character at all. Captain America had a sense of honor and duty, like most servicemen and normal men of the time. That was totally antithetical to the character, both on screen and in the comic, especially the comic version. Cap never would have done that. He knows that he can't change history. And I guess that's going to be part of the plot of the new movie is that he fucks stuff up. So that's what created the problem for Doom to come in. But it's fucking dumb. And oh, by the way, he's not going to be in the Captain America costume at all in this new movie.
Well, of course not, because there's a new Cap.
Well, they've improved it by casting a black Captain Blackman.
Blacked in America is going to take it over, and
yeah, fucking dumb.
I think that the whole Peggy Carter shit was so forced in like that because Hollywood needs its goddamn romantic storylines.
And I have no problem with the beginning of the love story, the unrequited love, because she died, she went through the war or whatever. She died in the second movie. But that was like the hints of a relationship that just never got fulfilled, and it's part of what he lost after being on ice for all those decades. That's fine, but then for him to go back and pursue that is stupid, and it makes no sense.
They do the same thing with Black Widow and Hulk.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner has a love interest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's been pretty established for, I don't know, generations. But they're like, no, ScarJo gives good head, so make her the romantic interest here. And
yeah,
there's no chemistry there because, you know, Ruffalo's gay and doesn't like women.
Yeah, he's weird looking. And Betty was even in the first movie with Ed Norton.
Yeah.
She was played by the Aerosmith's daughter.
Yeah, Falcon actually earned being Captain America in the comics. It's just going on too long now.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with Falcon is him turning down the super soldier serum.
Yeah, why would you do that? He's not going to be nearly as effective with the shield, at least throwing it. Because the thing's heavy.
Well, they show him throwing it just like Cap does, bouncing it off trees. He wouldn't have the power to do that.
He doesn't have the strength to do that as a normal person.
No.
Even a strong person. It's very established in canon of the comics and even in the film that it requires a lot of talent and effort that a normal person can't do that.
I don't have a problem with him turning down the serum, but then he needs to give up the shield.
Yeah, and he was a better character as Falcon. He established himself as a character. He had the cool suit and the little bird, the robo bird. I liked it better when he had a living bird in the comics, but what do I know?
Is vibranium heavy? Do this. Go get an aluminum trash can lid and throw it at a couple of trees and see how many you can bounce them off.
Yeah, vibranium's heavier than that. So it's about knowing how to use the angles, throwing it with enough force that it will ricochet and even come back to you. Because that's one of the unique things about Captain America is he knows how to actually throw the shield, and he's very strong. He's like basically a peak human in every aspect.
It doesn't get talked about much, but there's an intelligence boost there that allows him to make those calculations.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's supposed to be the peak of human achievement. Yeah, evolved in the comics. Bucky did become Captain America before Falcon, and his cybernetic arm allowed him to throw the shield, and that was actually explained in the comics. But in the movies, nope, 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 nope.
All right, let's talk about retard real fast because this made me laugh. This was the first thing I saw when I came onto Twitter today.
Oh God, I'm sorry. You saw Jarbo first thing.
First
Ew.
thing.
What a horrifying experience.
I'm sure if these movies were made today, he is talking about T2 and Alien/Aliens. His words, not mine. If these two movies were made today, you would definitely see idiots like the Critical Drinker make these types of comments, if not these exact comments about the women in these movies. On Sarah O'Connor. T2 is patient zero for the woke mind virus.
Who's Sarah O'Connor?
Oh, I probably fucked that up. Yeah, he just wrote Sarah Connor.
I'm sorry, it's pronounced Sarah Connor.
The notion that, especially picking on Drinker of all the people, Drinker is probably the most kind to movies that have wokeness in them that don't ruin the story. I mean, he might point out where there's something that's, you know, a little, what's the word I'm on? A little woke, but be like, overall, the story was well. And like, he talks, what movie was it? The terrorist glazing movie that DiCaprio just did.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the name of it because it looked fucking dumb.
He's surprisingly kind to that movie, even though he's bashing it the whole time. He barely talks about the woke agenda shit of that movie.
Oh, it's the Antifa training video. One thing after another.
Thank you. He's mostly critiquing the movie and the pacing and the lack of sense that some of the story makes. Very little. I don't even remember if he brought up the modern audience in that one or not. There's a ton of shit where he's much nicer to the movie than he gets credit for from all of these lefty shitbags who are mad that they didn't get a career from sucking off Hollywood.
Yeah, well, and on top of that, they only see the identity politics aspects of it. That is the important part to them. It's not the entertainment value. It's about spreading the message. And Jarbo is kind of a dum-dum too. So
you know, he's fair. Yes, I actually think sometimes he's too fair when talking about Drinker. Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna read all of this comment from Matt. One, because it's long. Two, because it's retarded. But there's a link if you want to read it. Look how long this shit is. This part here, from here to here, is just him pretending to be Drinker for a moment on Sarah Connor.
Oh God, that's painful.
He has a whole nother part about Ripley. And it's basically, oh my God, she beat the boys.
Does Jarbo know that the role of Ripley was originally written to be a man?
Well, what I would argue with Ripley is that Ripley isn't a Mary Sue in her movie.
Oh God, no.
Even in T2, Sarah Connor is not she's got herself battle ready. In one part with Sarah, he mentions she beats up the orderlies. Actually, she hits them with stuff.
Yeah.
She doesn't just punch them and they knock out. And they come at her one at a time, you know, being really accommodating stuntmen. Who is that? Drinker? Who says it?
I think so.
But the accommodating stuntmen aren't just like, here, punch me in the face and I'll fall down. She hits them with shit, which makes sense because she's a woman.
Well, she used like a mop handle and like doors and stuff like that to hit people with. So yeah, it makes total sense because she's a small chick, even though she exercises. And some of the guys that are chasing her are a little out of shape. Let's be real.
Well, do you remember when? Whoops! Why the fuck did I do that? When Ballerina was announced, and we got the first trailers for Ballerina, chick movie in a man's world. But there was near universal praise from the people like Drinker, especially for that line, you're going to have to cheat.
Yeah.
If you're going to go up against men, you're going to have to cheat. I still haven't seen that, so I don't know how well they did with the movie.
I've heard it's okay. I haven't seen it either.
I haven't heard anybody just bring it down for being woke shit because it had a female lead.
No. Yeah, I'm willing to suspend disbelief to a point, but when you have like Black Widow running around and she's like 5'2", taking out like 8 guys with no problem, that's just not believable.
I don't care how big
lasers out of their eyes is way more believable to me.
I don't understand how a short little woman, even if she does have thunder thighs, how she takes down a man by scissoring around his neck.
Drowns him in the cottage cheese of her legs.
Because all that's going to happen is she's going to fall off him when she tries to pull down.
Or he flops backward onto the ground and breaks her back.
I know it looks cool in the movies, sure, but you can only do that so many times to so many guys 3 times your size before it becomes unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, she is the smell. That's gross, Darth. Yeah, Frosted makes a good point. Everything Ripley does is something she learned how to do. Using the exosuit. She was shown how to use that early in the movie. She knew how to use the guns. It's just everything was earned in those movies. She had to fight tooth and nail. She made better decisions than some of the others. Yeah, it's a lot of it was luck, but that's not the same thing as like you can watch those movies with a modern audience and they can still interpret it as it was interpreted originally when it was first shown, because it doesn't have that focus on the women are superior nonsense or identity politics or any of that bullshit.
Well, real quick, let me get this. Romeo said this. Let's not forget Sarah Connor was a badass kicking orderly ass and taking the doctor hostage, but when she ran into the Terminator again, she fell over herself trying to run from him. Yeah, she didn't just beat his ass and suddenly they were fuck, what were you just saying?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to what I'm saying. No, I was talking about Ripley's earned her place. She learned how to do all that stuff. Some of it's luck. But it's not the same thing. You could have somebody younger watch Alien. And still have that same experience that somebody in 1979 did when they saw it, because it doesn't have all the stupid cliches that are ham-fistedly wedged in now.
Well, if you look at a lot of the times where it's, hey, this is a Mary Sue kind of thing. If the actresses would shut the fuck up, then most people probably wouldn't even see the movie and there'd be no controversy. We would look at it and go, that's not for me, and we move on with our lives.
Yeah.
If Alien came out today, let's say it never existed, it's the exact same movie. The actress playing Ripley would come out and be like, men don't like women. This movie isn't meant for you.
It's that made.
And so men would stay away and they'd be like, wait a minute. Men didn't come see this movie we said isn't for them?
Yeah. Well, weird how that works.
Yeah.
They could at least try and trick you into giving up your money first,
As far as Marvel movies are concerned, Captain Marvel isn't that bad. It's not great, but most Marvel movies aren't great. Is she a bit of a Mary Sue? Sure. Is it egregious? Not really.
Well, the one scene that they cut out where she steals the motorcycle and basically kills a dude for no reason.
Yeah.
If they had left that in, it would have altered the perception of the movie significantly, I think.
Sure.
In a negative way. But overall, the movie's just forgettable.
Yeah.
And they downplayed a lot of the, like, if you're a comic fan, it's complete heresy to the legacy of the original Captain Marvel.
Sure.
Marvel. Not Shazam Marvel, but the Marvel version, Marvel. They made him an old lady.
Yeah.
And it was just sort of offhandedly mentioned, like, oh, you got to go talk to this old lady. That was the character name was a female version of the original Marvel's Secret Identity. And that pissed me off because the only reason that Carol Danvers had her powers in any way is because she was fucking Captain Marvel.
As far as somebody who's never read because I had no interest in that. Much like Thor, I've never read a Thor comic because I don't care about God powers.
Yeah.
So I can enjoy the Thor movies because I don't know the stories.
Yeah, those were actually pretty good, I thought. Well, the first one.
To me, they're very much like Captain Marvel. They're pretty forgettable stories. The first one is so cookie cutter Hollywood, it's almost embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it was acted fine. It was a decent setup for the Avengers to introduce the character. And that's how I felt about Captain Marvel. It's not a good movie, don't get me wrong. In the hierarchy of Marvel movies at the time it came out, it's probably near the bottom, but it's not the bottom. Because by then hadn't Dark World come out?
Yeah, I actually like Dark World better than I liked Captain Marvel.
That's fair.
I found it to be insufferable.
Sorry, I had to cough. If Brie Larson hadn't been such a cunt, it would have blown over really quickly.
Yeah. The movie was, by today's standards, not quite as woke as a lot of crap coming out now.
Yeah.
But it was mostly her statements and her going out purposely trying to piss off the fans.
Yep.
That really brought that movie down and I think hurt it more in the long run. And I don't think she's that bad of an actress. She's very overall average, I guess. But she could have a career very easily. She's in that new Super Mario movie, Galaxy or whatever.
Boy, is she a different person on this tour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Somebody learned the hard way that pissing off the audience isn't good for financials.
Take a look at Disney live actions. If you look at something like Aladdin had a forced song thrown in where Jasmine is singing about how powerful of a woman she is, and nobody asked for that shit.
Yeah.
And people pointed it out, and they stayed quiet about it, and it died down quickly. Snow White, before it's even out, that bitch can't shut her mouth about how girl power everything is. And even if that movie
saved by a Prince monkey,
even if that movie had done well or had been made well, it was going to shit the bed at the point it finally comes out because she couldn't shut her goddamn mouth.
Yep. Ezra Miller did the same thing with The Flash.
Yes.
By being a giant weirdo.
The Flash was not a good movie. But it wouldn't have gotten near the backlash it did if he hadn't been a fucking goofy lunatic for 6 months, a year before it comes out.
Yeah. That movie suffered from, I think, what a problem with the Supergirl movie is going to be is the constant reshoots made it too messy. There were a lot of inconsistencies and things that didn't make leaps of logic that didn't make any sense because they had to reshoot. They shot that movie 7 times.
I think a bigger problem for Supergirl is that Supergirl's not that big of a property.
Yeah, well, James Gunn has made a bizarre series of choices with the movies he's making. Superman is the only one that makes obvious sense.
Sure.
Otherwise, you got Peacemaker season 2, which never should have happened, and has really nothing to do with anything. Supergirl, which why would you do another? If you're going to do another super movie, just make another Superman movie, and do that instead.
No, you got to get that girl.
Yeah, nobody fucking cares about Supergirl.
No.
She's a peripheral character that was done better by Helen Slater.
I was watching those hacks over at Red Letter Media talking about the Marvel universe and where
they were sucking off Daddy Disney so they don't get sued for their bootleg merchandise.
It's not bootleg. I mean, they clearly have a deal.
Yeah.
Disney's sued over way less.
Oh yeah, I don't. That's why I don't like Red Letter Media. I don't trust them.
They were talking about where Marvel went wrong, and for them, it's the Kang Dynasty. They screwed it up in Ant-Man and the Wasp or Quantumania. That's the last one.
Yeah, Quantumania.
It's like, no, you know where Marvel went wrong? And I will stand by this. They went wrong by accidentally doing well with Guardians of the Galaxy because they got it in their minds that they could take any hero and make it into a movie and people will come watch.
There is that. I think that's a big part of it. Yeah. They also learned one of the other rough lessons is everything can be silly.
If you go ask people what Guardians of the Galaxy was before that movie was announced, nobody knew. Nobody. In fact, there were stories that had to be like, yeah, this is where Howard the Duck comes from.
If you were a comic book fan, you definitely didn't know who the Guardians were. And that's not even the original Guardians lineup. So
I think it was a pitch meeting that made me realize this, because he says, yeah, we can literally make a movie about anything. And like, this is where it failed, because they decided that it's okay. Instead of recasting Tony because Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to do it anymore, they're like, fuck it. We can just bring out Ironheart. Like, you mean that thing literally nobody cares about? Iron Man, who was a B character in the comics to begin with, had a long history and fans knew who he was, and his comic books did okay.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, just bring out any old person. Let's do the Eternals.
Yeah, I never understand that decision. I mean, even DC didn't do that with New Gods, which the Eternals is a knockoff of.
Ant-Man, as much as I like the first movie, I didn't really care for the other two. But Ant-Man is not a main character. He's a side character. The only comics I read with Ant-Man were team-ups.
Yeah. It's hard for a character like that to carry their own book.
Yeah.
You could do miniseries or guest appearances or team-ups, and that's about it, because they're peripheral characters. Now, you could have them in a movie. You could probably do like a limited TV event, like with Disney Plus, do like an Ant-Man movie on there, but it's not going to have a big box office draw. And the movies have shown that. They made a profit with the first one, but they started dumping a bunch of money into it, and it, of course, turned out to be dog shit.
The Ironheart TV show wasn't a bad show. Oh, bro.
Who said that?
Rad said it.
Are you trying to bait us? Okay, so Black Genius Woman only gets replaced by stealing technology, and then when she gets fired / quits her internship, she immediately steals stuff and then goes to a life of crime. And one of her immediate thoughts to get out of trouble when the bad guys are somewhere near her is to steal a car. What kind of message is that sending? Oh, yeah, even the genius black women, they have to steal. What?
The Elementals had its issues, the Eternals had its issues, but overall, their characters in that movie, I want to see more of. And you know what? This is one of those times that we have to stop and explain this. You can like something that most people hate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And if you actually enjoyed Ironheart, fine. Please understand you are in the vast minority, and Disney can't get away with making a show just for you. That's why Ironheart went away so fast.
Yeah, they knew they did not have a successful program, so they dumped it real fast and then moved on. And they'd already seen that a lot of the stuff was not going well.
Look, you're talking to two people who enjoy bad movies, Jack, way more than me. But there are movies that I know are bad that I fucking love. Iron Eagle is one of the stupidest goddamn movies ever made. And I will watch it right now if it was on.
Yeah. You could watch the space version with Last Starfighter.
Last Starfighter is one of my favorite movies from my childhood. Me and my dad used to watch Iron Eagle. Starman with Jeff Bridges. Oh,
Oh, that's a great film.
But please understand, just because there's something that you like about it doesn't make it profitable or something that a major company should be putting all their money into.
Yeah. There's a reason Hell Comes to Frogtown didn't have a big budget.
Yeah. Some of the budgets on I was going to say most of these characters should just be TV shows, but they should be TV shows like they did in the 80s. Remember the Spider-Man movie in the 80s?
Oh,
all of the villains were like corporate.
Yeah, they're like
tags.
Yeah.
There's literally no superheroes in it. Same with the Hulk. No superhero or supervillains in it.
Yeah. Well, they did try and like make some like powerful bad guys here and there. Like $6 Million Man fought a robot Bigfoot or cybernetic Bigfoot, which was cool. But the technology at the time restricted quite a bit of that. And I think in a way that really did work. They were forced to write better stories. And if you really watch those and get over the fact that these special effects are ass, some of the stories are actually pretty well done.
Yeah. Monkey Hates Son-in-Law movie. I love Son-in-Law. If you're talking about Pauly Shore's Son-in-Law, that's a great movie.
I will watch any movie with Pauly Shore.
I didn't like Encino Man.
Encino Man, yeah, classic.
I didn't like that one.
Yeah, In the Army Now, Son-in-Law.
In the Army Now, yep. In the Army Now is just at that time, a retelling of Stripes.
Yeah. See, one thing that really disappoints me is that at no point did anybody think or manage to pull off a movie with Pauly Shore and Ernest P. Worrell.
Oh, that would have been unbearable, probably.
That would have been the greatest movie in my collection. If AI ever gets to a point where I can make that happen, it's going to be a thing that exists in the world. I will will it into being.
Encino Man, saw that in theaters. God damn, you're old.
At Biodome, Airheads, yep.
I've seen it's. I'm just realizing how many Pauly Shore movies I've watched. Yeah, the only one I had a problem with, I didn't like Encino Man, and I don't know why. It just didn't hit for me. Yeah, it happens with movies. But back to our point of this is that a lot of these characters that they're trying to force on people aren't going to work because comics are already a niche thing.
Yeah.
And you're bringing up characters even most comic book fans don't care about.
Yeah, look, that's why I said you could do these as like events for release on like streaming services. They need content, so why don't you do like a Marvel team up series where you take two heroes, like a Spider-Man, and you take Spider-Man like in Marvel 2-in-1 or team up, or 2-in-1 where you had the Thing, and team them up with a more obscure character for 1 or 2 episode arc. And then you just make a regular series about that.
Well,
you can even cast somebody different as Spider-Man because people don't really care about that stuff despite what Hollywood thinks.
Part of the problem is that they have to have a goddamn origin story for everyone.
That drives me up a goddamn wall. If you can't tell the origin story by the end of the opening credits, you've done it wrong. Nobody has a complex origin in comic books. If they do, they're a shit character that nobody knows about.
I have read the compilations of the first, I think it's 30 Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man. Yeah, there's not multiples of them.
Not in my universe.
There's maybe 6 recurring bad guys out of all of that. And they have to have an origin story for every bad guy in there, except for Goblin, because they don't really hit on that with him. And the origin story takes like 3 panels. That's it. Like he fell into a vat of goo. And he was an asshole.
He had body modification. He did this, whatever. Yeah. They were all very straightforward. Did you know the Penguin was originally an art thief? Nobody really wants that much depth there. Hollywood is obsessed with that because they think you're all stupid. If they would raise the bar a little bit, you wouldn't need to care. Like when I watched The Running Man, I didn't give a fuck about the origin of the bad guys, and they were basically super villains.
Understatement says, you may hate this, but Suicide Squad did it the best origin telling with the 2-minute montage each. No, they didn't. They didn't need those fucking. All right. I need to back up. I will grant you it's probably the best because it's over quickly, but they didn't need it, is my point. You can go out, let's say you've never heard of Spider-Man, right? And you pick up a Spider-Man comic, you can read it and understand what's going on. They might give you a little exposition to say, since he was bit by a spider, he has the spider powers. You could say that over the opening credits, like Jack was just talking about, and there you go. That's the origin established.
Yeah, they used to do it in the intro shows all the time.
Yep.
If you go back and watch the Adventures of Superman, what do they say? Rocketed to Earth from a dying world. Superman comes to Earth to save humanity. He stands for truth, justice, and the American way. You got it over in 30 seconds.
The old 60s Batman. Did you ever once hear about his parents being shot?
Nope.
Didn't need it. It's a guy dressed up like a bat who fights crime. And he's rich. The end. But they have to have an origin story for everything. That's another big problem of theirs, because let's say with Ant-Man, right? Instead of giving him his own movie, it's just a guy who shows up like, oh, you're Ant-Man. You could have just a little bit of dialogue to explain what his powers are, and then he's part of the story and gets to help.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you have to understand his whole backstory. He was a thief who's the best thief in the world, who's in prison for thievery, which kind of ironic.
Yeah. It was unnecessary. And you know what they really don't give you an origin for is Hank Pym. The original Ant-Man.
They really should have went with Hank as the character.
Yeah, it would have been better. You don't have to have these legacy. It just pisses me off.
It's Ant-Man, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. Just make him Hank Pym and move on. I like Scott Lang as a character in the comics. I think he's a very good second Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But they have both of them at the same time occasionally. And right now, Hank Pym, they drove him crazy because comic books are fucking stupid. I'm so mad about the way all this stuff has been just deconstructed to this unrecognizable mess. But this obsession with trying to have you play catch up for something that you don't need to be caught up on is bizarre to me. When I was a kid, we'd go see movies all the time, and I mean, we didn't know Darth Vader's origin story for 30 years.
That's a really good one. I mean, you have a whole brand new world in Star Wars, a galaxy far, far away. And the explanations that you get, we get a little monologue from Ben about what the Force is.
Yeah.
We get a little monologue from Ben about how Vader, we do get a little tiny bit of backstory for Vader, that he killed Luke's father. And if you watch again, it's clear that they had an agenda when they said that part.
Yeah.
But they didn't have to tell us the origin of stormtroopers and how Palpatine came to Palpatine wasn't even a thing in the original.
They mention the Emperor because he dissolved the Senate, but they don't go into anything about him at all, really. We don't see him until briefly in Empire. There's that hologram of him.
Yep.
And then he's actually introduced in the third one. We don't know him beyond Emperor Palpatine. That's really it. And they did reference the Clone Wars because Leia mentions it when in the hologram when she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan. You fought with my father in the Clone Wars."
Yep.
But we don't really find out anything about her parents. We slowly learn by the third movie whose lineage they're from. Spoiler alert for a 1983 film, everybody. But we don't really know anything about Darth Vader or what made him become Darth Vader other than he was seduced by the dark side. That's really all the actual explanation we get about him.
Yeah. The Force, it's just explained as the energy running through everybody, and there's a good and a bad. That's it. A lightsaber is a very delicate weapon for a more simple time.
Yeah.
One sentence descriptions of what's going on, and then they move on with the story, because what we care about is being in the story, the adventure that's going on. And they could do that with all of these comic book characters. They could do it with basically any character. If you want to give them a backstory, fine, but it's not necessary all the time. Unless you're, and I was going to say, unless you're introducing a new character, but we're just talking about Star Wars. And at the time, those were brand new characters.
Yeah. And a lot of times in comic books, when they introduced a new character, it was in somebody more popular's book.
Yep.
Like Darkhawk or Speedball. They'd show up in like a Spider-Man book. Like Speedball showed up in a Spider-Man annual. A terrible one, too, because he's a stupid character. But they would have, like, he would be part of an adventure with Spider-Man. That's why I said team up is what they really need to be doing for these obscure properties.
Punisher comes from Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, he was hired to kill Spider-Man.
Yep.
Which they slowly retconned over the years to kind of, because the Punisher was originally a hitman, more or less.
Yeah.
And they altered the storyline later on when Mike Baron wrote the miniseries. So you can adjust the characters later, but yeah, there were a lot of people that first appeared in someone else's book. Even Sergeant Rock first appeared in Our Army at War, I think it was.
Hollywood has this problem with having a formula, and I know I always point back to this, but it's that the pitch meeting thing where they're talking about John Wick. Like, he's going to have a love interest, right? No, you're really making it hard to ruin this movie. There's so many times where they take a Hollywood trope and put it into a movie that it doesn't fit in.
Yeah. They really need to start showing writers and directors stuff from the 80s.
Yeah.
You want to do a superhero movie right? Start having them watch episodes of like the old Buck Rogers from 79 and 80, $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, Knight Rider, Airwolf, and actually see what they're trying to do. A-Team even, although that one's a little 50-50 for me, depending on the episode, and see how they're doing the arc. Michael Knight's origin happens in the first episode, and it is rarely referenced after that. The intro makes it real clear he's a man who does not exist.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is still one of the greatest intros in television history.
The shadowy world of a man who does not exist.
Yes, I maintain that is one of the best openings to any TV show. Not just because of the awesome music, but because the voiceover encapsulates everything you need to know. He works for this company. He's a mysterious individual, and you really don't need to know anything beyond that.
Yep.
There's little hints dropped throughout the series that he worked for possibly the CIA. He was in Nam, or he worked with the CIA when he was in Nam, and that he was a cop before he became Michael Knight. And that was actually in the first episode, that he was a cop that got shot, and they turned him into Michael Knight. So he already had some background in military, weaponry and stuff like that. So you could kind of make sense of storylines, but they just drop little hints. But beyond that, his past really isn't explored.
Understatement says the problem is that everyone learns how to Oscar bait or how to be lesser forms of Oscar bait. I disagree. I think the Oscar bait ones are quite clear what those ones are. It's like it's 2026, and I'm sure some slavery movie will come out this year because it happens
probably
every time.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna disagree and say that I think the problem is how they learn to write in general has nothing to do with the Oscar bait. If you watch Oscar bait movies, most of them are written fine. They're just boring and repetitive.
They tend to be very dry.
Yeah.
I've sat through a lot of Oscar movies over the years, and man, they are just, most of them are not for me. I'm not a big fan of the Godfather series either. So
I think the Oscars are for people who wish they liked movies instead of people who actually do.
There are people that like the idea of movies as high art. They're pretentious dickbags that can't appreciate real art.
I get why you wouldn't like The Godfather, but I like both of the first two movies. The third one, I still maintain was trash and shouldn't have happened.
I agree on that. The first two were solid. Third one's okay. It's just not the same kind of film.
if you don't like slow burn movies, especially the first Godfather is a chore. It's a fucking chore to get through that movie. But the second one, at least there's a little bit more, especially with Michael going overseas, or not Michael going overseas, with De Niro coming overseas to America and seeing the start of the Corleone family.
Yeah.
So there's seeing him embrace the life of crime when he gets here, almost accidentally.
What is the most insufferably painful movie you've ever had to watch? Like where you actually like had problems sitting through the entire thing.
Well, my go-to for that is Grandma's House, but I didn't finish watching that.
I think we're gonna have a disagreement here.
That was a really bad horror film.
That is a bad horror film, but I would. Go ahead.
My real answer is The War of the Roses.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, that movie was so hyped up, and we went to see it, me and my friend, and we walked out halfway through and walked into Kindergarten Cop.
Well, that's an improvement for sure.
Which, by the way, we'd already seen.
Yeah. When I saw Navy SEALs, we got to see RoboCop 2 again for free. And we saw RoboCop 2 the day before because they came out at the same time. And we were at the Parma Town Mall in Parma, Ohio, right? So they're like, well, we're going to do this double bill if you get – it was opening weekend for Navy SEALs, and it was the midnight release. And we're like, we've never been to a midnight release. Me and my cousin and, my other cousin. I had two cousins there. So we went and saw RoboCop 2 because there's not much to do in Parma area. And we thought it was okay. It wasn't great. And then we saw Navy SEALs, and we're like, this movie sucks donkey balls. And we stayed and watched RoboCop 2, and it was such a better movie than what we thought yesterday.
Right.
So it really does change your perspective on things sometimes. But I would argue that the most painful movie to sit through is Gods and Generals.
I've never seen it, so that couldn't be mine.
You have chronic insomnia, so I recommend watching that whenever you have these insomnia.
You just told me it's hard to sit through.
Yeah, because you start falling asleep because it's so goddamn boring. It's like 3 hours long too.
The War of the Roses was just so disappointingly unfunny.
I had that same experience with Witches of Eastwick.
I hated that fucking movie. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, though, so maybe I'd like it now. But that came out when I was, 10, 11, somewhere around there. I remember the hype around it, and then we get it, and we watch it. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I saw it when I was like 16, 17. I was like, this movie's stupid. It had a few cool ideas in it that could have been something, like could have made a good horror movie, but it was just stupid.
Yeah.
Death Becomes Her had that same problem too.
When it comes to like Oscar bait kind of movies, Insufferable Long, I hated The Color Purple. And I know we're supposed to like that, but I wanted Danny Glover to keep beating her ass.
Yeah. I got kicked out of a chat one time for when they said Whoopi Goldberg's going to be in a movie, and I said, "Is she reprising her role from Color Purple?" And they banned me from chat for that.
Whoops.
Yeah, it's like nobody likes good humor anymore. But yeah, I did like Color Purple.
Understatement said I have 3 passes left. I don't know what I did. What the woman beating joke? My bad.
Oh,
but it was Danny Glover, so he's.
Well, Danny Glover's a good actor, and every now and then he just ends up in a shit movie, and I don't get it. I never liked Color Purple. I thought that was a waste of talented cast, just like on Golden Pond and the first Cocoon. I just don't like those movies. I think they're boring trash.
I like Cocoon. I did not like on Golden Pond because goddamn, that's a boring ass movie.
That is a boring ass movie with a bunch of old people in it. Yeah. I don't want to watch a movie about old white people that can't talk. They're all mumbling because they all had strokes in there at some point.
But Jane Fonda was in a movie with her dad.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
you know what's a great movie with old people? Dirty Old Men.
Oh, I love Dirty Old Men. The sequel, Dirty Old Men, is that what it was? I forget the name. I didn't care for the sequel.
Oh, Dirtier Old Men. It wasn't
Yeah.
as good.
No.
It was a much weaker film. That was a movie that should have had a sequel.
No.
And the outtakes of Burgess Meredith making dirty jokes during the credits
Yes.
solidified that movie in my mind as cinema, absolute cinema.
Grumpier Old Men. That's what it was. Not Dirty Old Men, man. We had the name wrong.
Yeah, whatever. People knew what we're talking about.
Well, especially when you bring up Burgess. It should have been called Dirty Old Men.
Yeah, there's some hilarious outtakes in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grumpy Old Men was a classic. There's a handful, and I'm not even a big Jack Lemmon fan. I think he's a little overrated. People usually love him because he was in a couple of shows they liked, like The Odd Couple, or not Jack Lemmon, the other guy.
Landau.
Yeah, Martin Landau. I think he's a little overrated.
I think Landau works in certain ones. Like he worked in The Odd Couple because of the character, and he works in Grumpier Old Men because basically it's the same character, but he's old now.
Yeah. But the movie could do more than the TV show could because of the restrictions of the time. That show could have been a lot funnier if they were able to be a little dirtier.
Yeah. Because what's that? That's late 70s, early 80s.
70s, I want to say.
I don't really have a problem with it. The play itself was actually quite different than the show ever was. Guess what's right around the corner? My birthday.
Oh yeah. I just had one. It was boring. I hope yours is exciting at least. Like
Walter Matthau. What did we say?
We said Martin Landau.
Landau. My bad. That's me.
It's Walter Matthau.
Yeah.
Martin Landau, I'm on the fence about too. So that era of comedians from like the 70s just don't really do much for me. Same with the 60s.
Matthau,
a lot of them I think just weren't funny. They were safe for TV.
We do need to correct one thing, because Matthau was Oscar in The Odd Couple in the movie. On TV was played by Klugman.
Oh, well, that's right. Yeah.
He was Quincy. Yeah.
Forgot about that. I haven't seen it in ages because I'm not a big fan.
I like the original play well enough. So the movie does basically, just here's the script of the play. It was all right. But I think a modern version would be much better because you could be dirtier with it.
Yeah, you could be more adult with it, and you don't have the censors that you have now, or that you had back then, and you could do more. That's the problem a lot of shows had at the time. There were some that were edgier, like Sanford and Son and the Jeffersons and Chico and the Man. They were allowed, and All in the Family. You could be a little bit more risque with some of the racial stuff, but not the swearing or the sexual stuff that would be much more appropriate to a setting like The Odd Couple. You know what I mean?
Juliet Landau was hot in Buffy. Who'd she play? I don't know. I only know the two girls and the main guy, not Xander, but Spike and Angel. I know their names, and I know Buffy, Sarah Michelle, and Willow. Oh my God. I had such a crush on her.
She's I think a little overrated. She's nerd girl cute, but
exactly, and I like nerd girl cute.
It works for a while. I was a little bit more of a Charisma Carpenter fan. Or
yeah, Charisma was awesome.
Elijah Dushku.
Elijah is my fuck, bro. Elijah,
I wanted to do yummy things to them.
Elijah and Vampire Willow together. Oh my, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I just a lot of the nerd girls, they just don't do it for me. I don't know why. Because I like nerd girls, fine, but like I never really got into Willow, and I never got into Felicia Day.
I was watching something today.
Who looks terrible now.
Somebody shared an 80s song, and it's one of the songs from Pretty in Pink. And I actually had the thought, Molly Ringwald must have been able to suck a golf ball through a garden hose because that bitch
Oh, that
was
chick
ugly.
looked like the ugly tree fell on that bitch, and she got really fat. Did you see her in Riverdale?
No, but the last time
Oh.
I saw her was in Not Another Teen Movie, and she was still thin there.
Oh, she
But-
inflated. Martin
Oh,
Landau's daughter
Drusilla.
played Drusilla. Yeah,
Drusilla, yeah, Drusilla was cute as shit. So was the other chick. Was it Darla? Darla, chick who went on to be on the first 4 seasons of Dexter.
You know who I really had a major crush on that,
Who's that?
was like kind of gothy like that was Jeanette from Forever Night.
Never seen it.
Oh my god, it's about vampires, and I love that show for one. But that chick that played Jeanette, she would do the like eyeliner, like that. You know that it's a little passe now, but at the time, oh, she looked so adorable. I had a huge crush on her. I love that show, man. That was great. It was on at like 1 a.m. on Friday night, which meant that it was on after Doctor Who on my local PBS station.
Yeah, I know it. My dad used to watch the shit out of that. He also watched Walker, Texas Ranger, and I've seen like 2 episodes of that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I never got into Walker, but there was Forever Night and Friday the 13th, the series. I've got both of them on DVD, the complete series, because I'm a giant fucking nerd. But one show I could never find was 2. And it had this guy that you'd recognize him from stuff. He was like a kind of a bit actor, and it should have had a better career, but he played twins. And one of them's a serial killer, and the other one is the guy he framed for all his crimes. And they're trying to catch him and this FBI chick are trying to catch the psycho version. And it was such a fun show. And that one was on right after Mantis. And I liked the idea of Mantis, but they really ruined that one too.
Molly Ringwald is a commie. Yeah, she might be. I don't know much about her politics. I don't understand how she got to be the hot girl in all of those 80s movies when she's clearly ugly.
Yeah.
She's objectively ugly.
That's right. Yes, I did watch Nightman. I liked Nightman. I liked a lot of the Ultraverse comics at the time, so I watched Nightman, and it had some great ideas. It just wasn't. It didn't have the budget that it needed to be successful. Same with Mantis. Yeah, the trunk size of Forever Night. That they had a couple of jokes about that were really funny. Why'd you buy this car? The trunk size.
The Hannibal show was all right. I've seen Manhunt and it's okay. Silence of the Lambs is one of the worst movies to ever be put to film, and probably ruined the whole idea of Hannibal for me. That fact hardly. I don't know what that means. Moving along. Yeah, Hollywood just has a writing problem, and they need to fix it.
They have a talentless hack problem. It's the writers and the directors.
In fairness, I do blame the directors more than I blame the writers, because I know they've taken good properties and fucked them all up. I don't like Wheel of Time, but I know this, or I haven't read Wheel of Time, but I know the story. I know it's beloved, and I know when they made it onto television, they changed almost all of it because the writers decided and it's actually comes from the directors. They might have certain writers who write the episodes for them, but it's what the director wants is what ends up in the movie or the show. And they tend to work with people that they like, and fuck them. They're just bad at what they do.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to see an end to it anytime soon.
Sadly, no. They have to lose a lot more money, and you need to see like a parallel film system come up, because a lot of stuff is leaving Hollywood and becoming more independent until that catches on more. And with like streaming services, you have the opportunity there to do stuff like that. And until that happens and they start crushing a lot of these big juggernauts, then it's not going to change. They have to lose so much more money.
I know we've had this conversation before, Assassin of the Gray, He says everyone in Hollywood thinks just be like Joss Whedon and J.J. Abrams. Joss Whedon was actually good at what he did, and that's the problem. Is it's so many? You're right. Many of them try to be like him, and they fail miserably. As for JJ, JJ's mystery box is one of the major things that is harming Hollywood right now, especially when you get into the streaming television shows. They're like, here's a really nifty idea. Where's it going? I don't know. And
yeah,
that's a horrible way to have a story. You need to go ahead and have that great idea, but then write out the rest of it before you start making it.
Yeah, take your idea to a team of people you trust and have them develop it and kind of guide them like, yes, I like where this is going. All right, follow through on that, and then have them do that and plot it all out in advance. They used to do what were called Bibles, where you had like all the character backgrounds and information. They did that with even cartoons back in the day. Every character was listed. They had a brief bio and their backstory and everything all written out, so you could be like, okay, you're new on the writing team. Here's the Bible for the show. Read it so you get an idea of what we've already done and where we're going.
Joss Whedon ruined writing. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. People trying to be Joss Whedon ruined writing.
Yeah, the copycats ruined it. I'm not as big of a fan of him as you are, but I like a lot of his ideas for stuff like Dollhouse. Some great ideas there. Firefly, that's basically Star Trek, but a little bit more literal in the Western elements.
Yeah, the wagon train in space for real.
Yeah,
actual cowboys.
And that's fine. It worked. It had some snappy dialogue, but not everything works out. And people copying something that they like is not. You have to find your own voice as a creative. You can't just try and ape what someone else is doing. They used to call that being a hack.
In fairness, a lot of the times, and I'm not saying these are good writers, but the direction comes down from the honchos to make it more like Joss's writing. Like make it funnier, make it, hey, no moments of levity, which is weird because his writing actually has a lot of those moments.
Yeah. Unfortunately, one of the problems that he has is that all the pop culture references get dated very quickly.
Very quickly, yes.
So watching Buffy today, if you have a teenager watch that, they might get about a fifth of the references. Because they make a lot of Scooby-Doo references, and that's still around. So there's a lot of references in there that they are not going to get.
The problem, or my counter to that would be, I'm a big Dennis Miller fan, his stand-up. And some of the references you have to get are from like the 600s.
Yeah, you have to have a pretty broad historical knowledge. But you know, people used to be better educated than they are today. Now they can tell you 85 genders that don't exist, but they couldn't tell you when the Battle of Hastings happened.
Yeah.
So, or even that there was a battle in Hastings that wasn't a Pride March.
You're right with the references, though. I was watching something else that's heavy on references. I forget what it was. It wasn't a Whedon-related thing. It was something else. But it was another one of those things where I was watching a reactor react to it. And they kept going, I don't get that reference. I don't get that reference.
Yeah, after a while, you start to feel like Captain America in the first Avengers movie. Like, oh, I got that reference.
Yeah. So
I know that one.
Any dated dialogue from that. The difference with, like, say, I mentioned Dennis Miller. He's talking about things that you probably should have learned about in school. They're not going to teach you, what pogs are in school these days. Right. So if you make some pogs joke from the 90s when kids were playing with that shit, nobody today is going to know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a time locked reference.
Yep.
A lot of James Gunn stuff is kind of like that too, because if you look at like Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a lot of references to the 80s and 90s, and not just the music either.
I wonder if I can find the one that I'm thinking of. Keep going. Keep talking.
No, that was kind of my thought. There's too much of that now that makes that self-referential thing really locked in time, and really prevents the longevity of it. Whereas before, a movie might take place in the 80s,
Oh,
but you could kind of look past that because they weren't constantly making like Trump references and shit like that.
I can't remember which of these two it was that kept happening so much, but it was either White Men Can't Jump or Not Another Teen Movie. I She watched Not Another Teen Movie, and she kept asking, "Why is that guy acting Asian?" And somebody in the comments said, "That's a reference to the Asian guy in 16 Candles." I'm like, "No, it's not. No, it's
No,
that's
that guy
Kenny
was
from
actually
that's Kenny from Can't Hardly Wait, who's acting black the whole movie. They're
yeah,
making the joke that nobody acts Asian.
yeah.
Uh, what is it with you honkies? I was going to say, how come none of you act Asian, but now weeaboos exist, so I guess you do.
Yeah. But everybody loved Long Duck Dong.
I suppose I didn't watch that movie because I wasn't a
He's
teenage
the
girl.
best character in that movie. The movie's not that good. It's terrible. And Matt Dillon should have had a better career. Let's just be honest about that too.
I know both 16 Candles and the other one, Pretty in Pink,
Pretty Pink. Yeah. Ugh.
but I've never watched either of them. I know the references to the characters from them, but
That's
again,
kind of surprising, Monkey.
I have testicles, so I didn't watch it.
I have been subjected to, I think, every John Hughes movie ever made.
Well,
It's mostly by women, but some of them are okay. Like, I don't hate The Breakfast Club or anything or St. Elmo's Fire. I just think that they're
Oh God,
incredibly boring.
I like Breakfast Club, but mostly because there's good characters in it and they work well. It's kind of the beginning of it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
St. Elmo's Fire is just, hey guys, we should just kill ourselves and be done with it.
Yeah. It was a downer film, which
should
really
show that-
surprised me when I saw it. It's like, wow, this movie's kind of dark,
They should show that to Canadians who are on the fence about Made.
right? Although, man, one thing that I do miss about a lot of the 80s movies, even ones that I didn't like, is they had soundtracks that were pretty fucking awesome.
Yes.
Like Man in Motion is a great song. John Parr, who basically evaporated off the face of the earth. I think his hair ate him. But that song was great. And even the crappy movie like Legend of Billie Jean, which was like stupid girl power shit.
God, that movie sucked.
I own that on Blu-ray. I found it in a Big Lots for $1.88 and I bought it immediately.
Of course you did.
But it gave us Invincible by Pat Benatar. And that is a great song. It's a great 80s tune.
You used to have soundtracks that would become bestsellers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Soundtracks that would go platinum.
That's how we got Danger Zone.
Do you know Danger Zone was originally shopped to Starship to do?
Why? Kenny Loggins is a way better choice.
I was looking at, they'd already signed him on for the other song he does in the movie. I forget what it was. But they were shopping Danger Zone around. They sent it to Starship. They sent it to Bryan Adams, and they were all like, "Nah, man, that's a war movie that promotes war."
Shut up.
Get fucked. It's a song.
Danger Zone. Highway to. Yeah, look, I'm not even a big Kenny Loggins fan, but he fucking nailed that one.
Yeah, he did.
There were even like that stupid movie you like, Footloose.
Footloose had an amazing soundtrack. Said Footloose had an amazing soundtrack.
It absolutely did, and I don't even really like that movie at all. Like I kind of like I could go my entire life without ever watching it again and be perfectly fine.
Dirty Dancing had such good music in it; they had to make 2 albums.
Yeah, yeah. There are so many good soundtracks from the 80s, but they don't really do that anymore. Now it's all like shitty hip hop, the occasional overplayed pop song, and like a couple of decent classical music numbers.
Well, most of what they do is like, give me an AC/DC song.
Yeah.
Which I get it. Having a thumping AC/DC song come on when you're about to have a big moment makes sense. But there's other bands probably not willing to sell as much, which I've never understood. Like, you're a sellout. Yeah, I want to make money.
Yeah, they're not selling out; they're being profitable.
That's
You
why
want to keep your artistic vision, stay in your garage and work.
Gene Simmons is an asshole, but I absolutely appreciate his drive to make money.
Yeah, they made coffins for Kiss. Come on,
That motherfucker will slap the Kiss brand on anything.
Did you ever see Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, the movie they did?
No.
I have it on VHS.
Of
Someday I'm going to make you watch that. It
Never
is
cared for dance
like
films. That's cool, but I mean, like take Footloose. Dancing is the setup for it. Most of the film is not about dancing.
it's a rebellion film,
Yeah.
dancing just being the proxy. It is very loosely inspired by an actual event in Indiana, where the locals wanted to outlaw dancing because I don't know, praise.
There were actually places that did.
Oh yeah, it was a thing that actually happened.
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah,
even. Sorry. Go ahead.
We fought a lot of wars to get away from that kind of authoritarian nonsense.
Even a movie like A Chorus Line, based on the play, which has a lot of singing in it, even that isn't a dancing movie. There's so much more going on in it.
Yeah.
Even movies like Step Up, and my daughter was a big fan of those kind of movies.
They're chick flicks for sure.
For me, if you want a good dance movie, you need to watch like Breakin' or Breakin' 2 or Beat Street.
Breakin' 1 is stupid. Breakin' 2 is where it's at.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Beat Street. Yeah, like those movies are fucking horrible. They're so dated. So 80s. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But those are more like almost pseudo documentaries.
Yeah.
A lot of the movies that kids grow up with today are kind of weird about stuff like that because they like show, you can resolve your problems with dance. Like you're gonna have a dance off with some random gang member in a blind alley, so you have to be able to do some dance moves.
I love Step Up and Bring It On. I like Bring It On, but only because Elijah Duku was in it in a cheerleader outfit.
Oh yeah, Elijah Dushku and what's her name? The one you hate.
That's so many.
Oh, no, the chick from Spider-Man.
Oh, I don't hate her. I just hated her in Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, well, she was really adorable back then. And if you've never seen Drop Dead Gorgeous, that is one of the greatest movies of all time. She's in that. It's like one of the main characters, this happy-go-lucky girl.
As for the story of Bring It On, I mean, it was fine.
Yeah, it was a cute movie.
I didn't hate watching it, but I did enjoy watching it because she's in get to see her spankies. That's
Yeah, I enjoyed it much like I enjoy a lot of K-pop for all the wrong reasons.
I do wish that they would re-release it in theaters so I can see that in IMAX.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just a giant screen of her ass in spankies.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bring It On was actually
for science, you guys, for science.
Yeah, simply research purposes. That was actually a pretty fun movie.
Yes.
The second one was okay, but you get to like they started going off into these weird other dance movies like Step It Up and what was the other one? Where they started getting into goofy shit. Then you had like Drumline, all those weird movies, and then of course you ended up like that segued slowly into like the musicals, like High School Musical and Camp Rock.
I do one, by the way. I love the original High School Musical, but Drumline is one of those movies that's really bad, and I've only seen it one time. But I love it for the premise. You have a bad boy in band and you put that on TV. You committed to film a bad boy in band.
Yeah, the band Bad Boy. He's so naughty. Well, I mean, look at Varsity Blues. That movie's stupid too, and a lot of people love that.
Varsity Blues, I can tolerate, but the premise is really stupid. And I always hated the kid. I don't want your life. Like you're really great at football, and he clearly likes football, but he's like, no, I'm a super genius, and I'm too good to play football, so I'm only here because my dad told me to. With his arm and everything, and that he could have got a free ride to anywhere he wanted in the country. Like, use your talents to get ahead, asshole. Spoiled little yuppie kid.
Yeah. A lot of those movies just don't make a lot of sense.
Somebody asked earlier, and I meant to mention it at the time, or asked of another audience member where Spandau Ballet got their name. Where did they get their name? Because I am curious.
I have heard that story before, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. No, I think I watched. I think Professor of Rock or whatever his name is, the shitty internet guy.
That guy bothers me. He talks too long about shit.
He's like, oh, that was Zardoz. Sorry, Assassin. I get those movies mixed up because, I hate Xanadu. It's weird and it is kind of fun, but
isn't Xanadu the one with
Olivia Newton-John, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I always get that mixed up with Zardoz, which is that weird sci-fi movie with Sean Connery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's the jerking from hanging was called Spandau Ballet. Wow.
Okay. Well,
that's fucked up.
That's a hell of a good band name, though.
I guess.
But yeah, I just
they should have been more realistic, and if they want to go with what happens when you get hung, like shit his pants.
Yeah, final load blow.
I don't know what that's in reference to. Anyway, isn't Xanadu a Rush song? Probably. Well, see, this I was going to mention this when we were talking about soundtracks. Even movies that didn't have great soundtracks that did well on the pop chart still would have a song that did well.
Yeah. It's because they were making original music by some really talented people most of the time. So they weren't hiring the C team for a lot of these tracks. They were getting A-listers or B-listers to actually make new music. And that was the only way you could get that new song was on the soundtracks.
My favorite story about soundtracks was Survivor. Stallone contacted them for Rocky 3, and they wrote 2 songs. One of them they poured their heart and soul into, and one of them was just like, well, fuck it, we were told to have 2, so here, write this real fast. And of course, the second one was Eye of the Tiger. And Stallone was like, that one. And they were like, really? I don't know if they ever released the other one. I've never heard what the other one was. But yeah,
I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
I think there's this is what I was talking about with artists the other day. Like, if you give them time to think, like as much time as you need to do your thing, they will fuck it all up. Be like, hey, I need this tomorrow. They will make something that blows your fucking mind.
Yeah, if nobody learned from Ethan Van Sciver and Rainbow the Brute, artists of any type need a deadline.
Yes.
They need somebody there to tell them they need a deadline, and it's a hard deadline. It has to be in my hand this day, no excuses.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it'll take them for fucking ever.
Yeah, and they'll never stop. Shio, Xanadu is a Rush song. I think it's also the name of the estate in Citizen Kane that he built, like the big manor that he lived in.
All right, guys. Sorry. We are almost 3 hours in, Jack, and I'm going to wrap this one up. Guys, thanks for coming out and hanging out with me. And Jack, for the last couple of hours, thank you for all the support you give us, the donations, the likes, the shares. All of that is so kind, guys. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link to an awesome video that came out as soon as it loads up. But thank you guys so much for all the tips and all the support you give us. You're beautiful people, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because you guys are awesome.
I'm going to try my best to get shows done for the next 2 days. And then after that, I am off for at least 5. Because I'm going to be otherwise indisposed, Jack.
So you're pooping.
Hey, I need to play my video games on the toilet.
Oh, fair enough.
Give me a 1 in chat if you play video games on your phone on the toilet. Just saying. Not pooping, you just go in there because that's the most comfortable seat. Yeah, so like I said, we'll try to get the next 2. I'm feeling pretty much the same as I have for a while. So, yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm happy though, so be happy for me. 2, why aren't you guys poop playing?
I want to get out of there before the smell hits my nose, man.
Bro, you shouldn't be able to smell yourself.
Well, I'm not taking the risk. I want to get out of there as fast as
that
possible.
stuff coming out of you? You need to see a doctor.
No, I don't want to be anywhere near poop.
I was watching a video today talking about the Ozempic culture, the Ozempic economy coming in, and it made me laugh because all these corporations now are throwing. I was wondering why, because I keep seeing it everywhere. Protein. It's because of Ozempic. Apparently, if you're on Ozempic, you need to really up your protein.
Yeah, isn't there links to like osteoporosis or something?
I don't fucking know. But this guy was like, all of these companies are slapping these GPL or whatever it is on their products. And I'm like, I don't feel bad for the people who fall for it because they're lazy fucks who won't just stop eating.
I feel judged.
You have to trick your mind into thinking you're not hungry, which probably means you are. But if you're falling for this, you're probably the same kind of person who pays extra for eggs that say free range, or you see a cucumber that says organic, and you're like, that must be better for me, or non-GMO. You deserve to get robbed at some point.
That seems a bit extreme.
I'm just saying. If you keep falling for all this stupid ass advertising, that's on you, especially if your goal is to cheat biology. I can't feel sorry for you for a couple of companies taking advantage of you.
Yeah, look, everything is made poorly these days, so you're not going to get anything good. They're probably injecting high fructose corn syrup into your watermelon right now.
How many times do you got to get screwed over by these companies with their stupid ass marketing before you go, I think they might be lying to me?
Yeah, I mean that's what they do best, is lie to us.
They have protein Pop-Tarts now.
That sounds disgusting. Wouldn't that just be like bacon?
But no, they just put some protein powder in the mix that they make for the batter or for the Pop-Tart itself. The filling inside is still the same shit.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah. And if you buy those because you think they're healthier, you're a fucking moron and you deserve them to take your money. Because if you want protein, go grab a steak. It's in it. It didn't have to be added. Protein Pop-Tarts, man. I don't feel bad for anybody who buys those because you're a retard and you deserve to lose your money. Anyway,
so disgusting.
Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everybody, we love you. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
I owe you a song for one of the shows. You're not going to get it.